Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday show. My name is James, and I am joined by Mr. UltraDavid and TuboWare. And we have some interesting changes of schedules and stuff and differences today. But how you guys
That's
doing?
right. My name is UltraDavid, and here I am. I'm excited to be here as always. That's right.
That
What about
was
you,
so
TuboWare?
rude.
Are you
What are you
excited?
doing?
Are you having a blast?
I'm a blasty blast.
That's great to hear. I'm so happy to hear that you're having a blast, buddy. Tell me else. What else is going on in your life?
Well, what's going on in my life is what James was trying to say is things are a little bit different today.
All right. Yeah. Let's
A
talk
little
about
bit different
the show.
today.
Here's
Go
what's
ahead.
going on. The difference is that we have AceKingOffSuit for the guest right away. He has a very reasonable schedule accommodation. That is to say, he has to wake up at, well, actually before the crack of dawn tomorrow. So we're going to get him on as early as possible. We also have some changes on the show. Check out this second topic here. You guys will find out what it is very shortly. We're going to be talking about other stuff that happened. Look, honestly, not that much news happened. So we're going to be talking about other things and kind of having a good time on the show today. We got a bunch of mailbags as well. It's going to be fun. Yeah. But let's begin by getting to the interview.
All right, so we're going straight to the interview here. Welcome, Steve, aka
Look at that
AceKingOffSuit.
transition. Look at that transition. I feel like, I feel underdressed for the occasion.
Well, listen. We may not be the best of 5, but I think we got you beating the best of 10 with those transitions. Get on our level, Ace King.
Dang.
You know what?
Look.
You know what? Alon is awesome at,
I agree.
By the way, he does say thank you, James and David, both of you, for helping him out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Happy to, of course.
Be excited to have him be in our hood very soon, right? So,
yeah. Everyone's running away from the central part of the country. I'm gonna be all alone. It's just gonna be me and Rick, and that's it.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm here.
Nobody else lives in Minnesota, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Nobody else important, at least, right? So,
hey, I'm not going to be riled up by these Californians. We know what we got.
I'm sorry, man. You spend every week with 2 Californians. You've kind of become Californian by osmosis.
No,
Californian TuboWare. I love it.
It'll literally never happen.
Los Angeles TuboWare here to party. So,
Mr. Hollywood.
Yeah, as I can actually see the Hollywood.
He's gonna be called. He's gonna be called Tubo Wood once he moves to Hollywood. So and I mean I know other people call him that already, right? So I'm sure.
They really do.
That's me. We're gonna talk with you about a few things, but I always think it's nice when people come on to talk about their origin stories in the FGC. So how is it that you became interested in fighting games, and then how is it that you became interested enough in fighting games to actually be in the FGC in a more active way?
Well, fighting games themselves, I started at a young age. I remember getting Champions Edition, bringing it home from Blockbuster. Me and my brother, whenever we had games, we had a system. He would jump on right away. I would read the manual. That's how we worked.
Are you the younger brother?
He is the younger brother.
Okay, so you, as the older brother, you chose this life. Very interesting.
Everyone's different. You got to find what works for you,
dude. Yeah. So, I mean, that's exactly what me and my brother would do. Well, actually, we would try to read the instruction booklet on the drive home through traffic lights if it was at night. But I would usually be the one to jump on, and my brother would be the one to instruction booklet and research and stuff. So yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And
continue.
Of course, I picked Ken because Ken was American and therefore cool. So I was terrible with Ken before being terrible with Ken was cool.
How old were you at this time?
This was when I was 9.
Okay. Dang. All right. So we're about the same age then. Got it.
Yeah. And then, I dabbled in and out. I'd go to Pop's Arcade every now and then, downtown Minneapolis. the not so nice streets of downtown Minneapolis at that time. I went in. They had a Marvel 2 set up. I didn't know what I was doing. I remember this one time I played. I was on there and someone jumped on, and I picked Ken, Akuma, and Wolverine. And the guy says, "Okay, I see what you're doing." I'm like, "Okay, good," because I don't.
Yeah, really. Like,
You're just choosing the pro tag team. That's all.
Yeah.
That's
That's
like,
what you're doing. You're a kid picking your favorite characters. All right.
It's, Ken, I know how Ken works. Akuma looks kind of the same. He should probably kind of work the same.
And then
But then,
Wolverine.
I didn't really get into, the FGC side of things until, 2010, 2011, in all honesty.
You're a post 09er?
I'm a post 09er.
Wow.
I didn't buy games right away. So,
okay, yeah.
So, okay, Super Street Fighter 4 is on sale. Let me pick this up. It's been a while. And I played it, and, I fell back in love right away. I started going to local tournaments, and I was lucky enough that my local tournaments were run by this guy named Rick Thayer, a.k.a. Combo Breaker Rick. So, man, this experience is great. If I go somewhere else, it will work exactly the same way, right?
Every tournament will be exactly the same as Combo Breaker for sure.
Oh, man. Yeah. I go there. They say my match starts at 2. It starts at 2. It's perfect. But, from there I started getting into streams and watching all the action. And then I remember, I think it was NCR 2012. It was either NCR or SCR 2012, where I was they had their schedule up, and I was like, okay, I just want to watch some Street Fighter and some others, maybe one or two other games. So let me start getting, let me organize this so I know what's going on.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then I put it on Reddit. I put it in a spreadsheet okay, I could probably put it on Reddit, and, maybe someone else would like it. And it got 100 upvotes, which back then was oh my God, I'm famous.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll do it again for the next event. And then the next event. And then all the events.
Dude, I have often said to people, I mean, this was obviously, of course, when we were offline. I mean, you're still doing some now, but there just haven't been events like there have been in the past. But, I mean, 2 years ago, I used to tell people, if you join Twitter on for the FGC, the two accounts you have to follow are High Fight and AceKingOffSuit, because your schedules are invaluable for people to know when to watch everything.
It's a little more difficult now because things have become so splintered.
Right.
All of these pro tours, they had sort of through lines through these events. If you were into Soul Calibur, if you're into Street Fighter, if you're into Tekken, NEC is probably a big deal for all three of you.
Right.
Now, with so much of it being online, it's a lot more difficult to kind of keep it all collective. So I am doing, I've done other stuff with that. Juked is something that comes to mind that, that's a site I work with. We try and get all of the fighting game schedules in one place so you can find it. Very nice that their mission or where they started is very similar to where I wanted the FGC info to be. So that partnership's really been awesome. But yeah.
So when it came to decision to go for it.
Well, I was going to just say, you talked about how things got splintered after the pandemic started. Prior to the pandemic, what is your process to getting these schedules put together, and how much work does it take? I imagine it's a lot more than most people are willing to do. So
can I add
I'm
one
curious.
thing to this question, actually, because it's
Sure.
very close to what I wanted to say was, how annoyed are you, Ace King Offsuit, that no website for any event lists what stream the games are going to be on?
Man, there are some that are better than others. Like Texas Showdown has been really good about that. Combo Breaker, Big E's events have been really good about that. But if I could spread one piece of info, one piece of advice to anyone who wants people to watch their stream, it's to make it as easy as possible to find it. I am someone who will go to, like, if I don't find it on the webpage, I know, okay, I can go to the Facebook group and check there. If it's not there, well, okay, I can check their Twitter page. Okay, I also know who the TOs are. I can check their Twitter pages.
Right.
And hopefully someone, most people aren't willing to go through all that.
Nope.
They're just.
And that's one of the things that, honestly, you even more than just a schedule, your spreadsheets literally tell people where to see things. Like, I've found more streams via your spreadsheets, your schedules, than I have through actual Twitter and official web pages. Let me tell you,
Which it shouldn't be. I don't want to be the schedule guy. I never wanted to be the schedule guy. But, I love the FGC.
right?
I'm not going to help it through my gameplay. My Ken is very, very suspect. I'm not going to help it with commentary. I jumped on once for Third Strike. I got booted off the mic in about 75 seconds. That is not an exaggeration.
I mean, you didn't fall asleep though, so that's okay.
I stayed awake, but people are wishing I fell asleep.
Oh man,
This is something I can do. I can do this.
Right.
I like putting things in colors. I like putting numbers to things. I can take the screenshot in Excel, and I can help the community by doing that. I found something that contributes to people's enjoyment of the thing I love. So I'll continue to do that.
Yeah, talk about your workflow for it. Like, what does go into it?
So I take a look at what events are coming up, and I try to get to as much as possible, but especially right now with all of my side gigs and also the fact that there's someone else who actually enjoys spending time with me now. It's not possible to do everything.
right.
So what I do, I figure out what events I'm going to cover. And I have this Excel template. This Excel file that has a bunch of different templates. Like, okay, I use this size for an event that has a lot of streams. I have this size that's, just a couple streams.
Right.
If it's one stream, I've got this one for when it's, when there's 8 time zones I have to convert versus 9 time zones I got to convert, depending on if it's daylight saving time. It's just something that's grown over the years.
Right.
But it's a lot of copy pasting. It's a lot of double checking websites like time and date, and just making sure, waiting until, okay, this is final. This is going to be final. Hey, TO, is this final? Okay, cool. And then I can just, block it out and knock it out pretty quick. Once I have the info, it's fairly quick. But, it's just a matter of, I've got the templates. I've got this massive pile of game logos, like, that I never delete, that I'm never going to... Like, I have Absolute Battle 6 in here. I have I have MK9.
Nice.
I've still got a Street Fighter Cross Tekken logo in here.
Oh,
Who runs Street Fighter Cross Tekken at a tournament anymore?
dude, we are
Nobody.
actually about to talk about Street Fighter Cross
Yeah,
Tekken
we're gonna
later
talk
in
about that later
this
today.
episode.
See,
So-
I did that segue. For
You nailed it. You
You don't
absolutely
need
nailed
Say
it.
Jam.
Well done. Well done.
You nailed it. So something I've always been curious about for you is what. Not everybody makes the decision to. Nobody else made the decision to really do these spreadsheets. And I'm curious what led up to that, right? Like you talked about your wanting to read the manual rather than play at the first point. I'm wondering in my mind, like, what's your history with wanting to make spreadsheets? Maybe is that work? Is that a hobby? Talk about that side of things.
It's kind of a bit of both. Like, I am, I like charting things out. I like combinatorics. I like that sort of thing. When you get to the last week of the season, when you're looking at like football, and you see those graphics, like, okay, if A wins, B wins, C loses, here's what the playoff seeds are going to be. I like doing that sort of stuff.
Right.
I like, March Madness, filling out the brackets. The
Yes.
brackets.
Nailed it.
Oh man, what am I?
Do you like playing like Football Manager type games too?
Not so much.
It's weird that you like all that spreadsheet stuff, but then like when it's turned into an actual game, you're just like,
I like numbers. What can I say?
No,
I'm
think
I mean,
that's
look,
the
cool.
weird that played number munchers all the time in school.
I used
yeah,
to
that's not
love.
even weird. Everybody loved number munchers. That was a banger.
Dude, I used to do spreadsheets. Like I used to love. Someone called me at my work. They called me Rainbow James because all my spreadsheets always had all these colors in them. Because I'm obsessed with making the spreadsheets have like this very beautiful presentation. So.
Look, I've definitely made spreadsheets related to just questions that I had about the world and like countries and ranking them by like population and stuff. Like you're talking to a fellow nerd over here, okay?
I had spreadsheets built. All right, I had spreadsheets built to keep track of the
Leave me alone.
win-loss stat ratio of our third strike CPU versus CPU tournaments. All right, let me tell you that.
Man.
So
That's
we're all
somehow less nerdy than ranking country on spreadsheet by population.
Look, man, nowadays Wikipedia does it for you, so you don't need to. But yeah,
Yeah, sure.
Have I
I'm
done
glad
that?
the
Yes.
Wikipedia is doing that for you.
You
David.
just gotta hope that it doesn't get caught in an edit war, and you're good.
Right? Yeah.
And Investigation Cone is trying to expose me with my color-coded coat hangers. So yeah, we won't get into that at any point
Dang.
in time.
we,
so.
we will at some point.
You're just gonna.
Definitely gonna talk
I
about
know
that.
I'm on a timer, but you're just gonna drop that bit of info and walk away.
Color coded hangers?
Somebody put in a mailbag question on that or something. We'll have to
Yeah,
get to that in the
seriously, we
future.
got to talk about that. At some point.
So you've been making these spreadsheets and so effectively calendars for quite a while. Can you talk about what's going on with Juked?
So, when I started partnering up with them, their goal was to.
Well, and what are they? They're just at a basic level.
So Juke started out as a website that wanted to be a central source for all things esports. So the schedules, player info, player news, all of that in one spot, because there really wasn't a spot to go for it. So they reached out to me. I liked what they were planning to do. Felt like a good fit. So I've been working with them for a while. They are actually going through a new sort of thing. We're still going to be doing schedules. We're still going to have fighting game info on there, but they actually are opening up an open beta. So if you want to head to juke.gg to check that out. You certainly can. So
I'm on there.
So, I mean,
Congratulations, David.
no.
All
Look,
right.
so what I wanted to ask though is like, I mean, obviously you're doing a great service to the FGC out there. I mean, this is something that you're creating content, you're doing all these spreadsheets, and like I said, you're unquestionably, in my opinion, one of the most valuable members of the FGC, just to be able to keep the schedule together and such. Do you have a Patreon or something that like people can donate to help you out and at least, thank you for the work that you're putting in for all these schedules and everything?
So here's my thing. I don't think I like when it comes to like the schedules and stuff, I'm not doing anything that anyone else can't do.
I knew I was going to disagree with this sentence. The first like 5 words you said in my mind, I was like, I'm not going to.
Yep.
For sure. There it was.
But like, it's not like I have some innate ability. It's not like I have some incredible talent that, like, I've literally said, if anyone wants my templates, I will gladly email them to you, and I have. And there are some events like Celtic Throwdown uses a schedule that's based on the templates.
Nice.
So I have no problem not doing that. I don't have a personal Patreon or anything like that, but if you do want to support me, I do work on this other fighting game podcast.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Best of 5, spelled Best of V being 5, because Street Fighter 5. They use that
And
Roman numerals.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
And that's on
I'm picking up what you're
you
putting down.
get it.
that's on twitch.tv/bestofv.
Best of V show. We're on
Best of V show.
Yep, we're on Twitch. We're on YouTube now with that name. We've got the Best of V show name on
Nice.
YouTube. I think 2 episodes ago that was literally the name of our episode.
Nice.
SoundCloud, Spotify, all that. If you do want to throw some financial support my way, subscribe to us on Twitch. That's me, that's Alon, that's Sharpie.
Yeah.
We try to have a little fun. Obviously, we're in the same genre and we cover a lot of the same topics, but we try and do things a little different.
Yeah.
Have a little different view on things. So hopefully you enjoy Ultra Chen. Hopefully you enjoy us.
Well, let's talk about it.
There.
Yeah, no, we absolutely want to talk about the show.
Yeah.
It has. Go for it.
No, I was just about to say, where did the idea come from? Who put it together, and like, what made you guys decide to try to go in that direction?
So that was not me.
Yeah.
Way back in 2015, I want to say, there was this website called Daily Dot, and they started up an esports section, and they hired Efren Salinas to sort of, he was brought in as their video guy, but also as their lead the esports team, and he called Donka he brought him in, and they did this show called The Lowdown, which was focused on all esports, but they'd have an episode a week that was about fighting games, which he would host. They spun that off on its own thing called Best of 3.
I remember that.
It was him, Donka, and Ray Chun. Shout outs to Radical Ray. And then, they brought Velociraptor on, and then a week later, I get this call because I was writing for them. I was writing for Daily Dot. He got me in the door to Daily Dot to do FGC writing based on some of the analysis I did for the early Capcom Pro Tour events and figuring out who was on the cut line. So he helped me get in the door there. He gave me a call and said, "Oh, listen, Steve, I forget if it was Ricky or Justin, but like they booked them as a guest and they couldn't make it. They had something come up last minute. I may need you to come on the show next week. And I'm like, okay. And like, I don't know if that video still exists, but it's a panel segment with the four of us, and I'm just sort of like meekly raising my hand whenever I have a point that I think might be relevant, which isn't very often. But then they decided to keep me on, and for whatever reason, they liked me on there.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, Daily Dot got sold. They spun off Dot Esports, and it wasn't when it became Dot Esports. Dot Esports got a new owner, and that sort of spun it off. So so after a while, we went independent. Started up Best of 5. Elon was there as the technical guy, but it was the four of us, and then Donka went away, and John went away, and Efren had real life happen, so he had to step back, and Elon stepped in front of the camera, and then we brought in Sharpie, and we're just continuing to work, continuing to block and grab and yell at each other and make weird jokes and swear so much that I have to put in all the beeps when I edit it on YouTube.
You actually put beeps on there, huh? Oh man.
This is the thing. Like, I edit that show on YouTube.
Oh my God.
YouTube and stuff.
Oh my God.
So I am like, if I was worried about swearing here, because if I swear on there, that's more work for me.
Man.
If I swear on here,
watch this.
Hey, you got a bunch of free ones. If you want to use some freebies here, there's not going to be any editing that needs to happen.
Yeah,
Make it happen.
I might have to build the bank because I don't want to pack it all in 4 minutes.
Oh, if you just want to let one big one rip for the next 3 minutes and 50 seconds, be our guest.
I'll drop one and you won't see it coming.
Okay, you got it. Yeah.
No, I mean, I will say this, but man, fuck editing stuff on YouTube. It is not fun at all.
It's tough, man. It's the worst part is, like, I have to edit Wednesday because we do the show on Tuesday, and it's got to be up Thursday.
Right.
And Wednesday is really the only day that Ace Queen is always off. So I miss out a lot of time on that, which sucks. But I do it for the people.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, I know that it's not easy to keep a show going for a long time. Like we've had a good run, but I know that it's not easy for sure. So the fact that you guys have kept it going as long as you have, even through all these like people leaving and stuff, thankfully we haven't had to deal with that, right? Like it hasn't been like that. But all these, changes that have happened from different places, different people, you have kept it going, and I think that's super cool.
Well, now's as good a time as any to announce that I'm going to be leaving the show.
Yeah, it's
permanently.
It's going to be only me from now on. Actually,
forever.
It's just going to be the UltraDavid show.
I'm taking James with me.
I mean, it's done. We're out of here. Generation spacing is breaking off on its own at this point.
TuboWare disappears, and then next week he comes back as TuboWood.
There you go. That's right. He's going to have the star shades on and everything, and the background's going to be the Hollywood sign instead.
I could go full Hawaiian shirt, man. Don't get me wrong. I could do it.
It's going to be like WWE, where we just pretend like he wasn't this, that he's a completely different person.
He's now officially TuboWood down there now. So there you
go. So for the show, you talked about your first time on there and feeling like you were being kind of meek. Had you had experience in on-camera stuff or in speaking in public before this?
Not a ton in this sort of... Like, I had been a class president, but that was back when I was in 3rd grade, when being smart was cool. And then once you make the transition to middle school, everyone's like, "Fuck that."
Yeah.
I saw it coming.
There you go.
I saw it coming.
But yeah,
Alright.
I really hadn't done anything on camera, so
Mm.
I know I was worried about sucking. Now I'm just completely okay with sucking on camera. It's who I
See,
am.
before I was
And for
worried that I would
reason.
suck.
I always say
Now
you
I'm
swear,
okay.
but saying that you're okay with getting with sucking on camera, that's
Yeah, there may be
that
some
might be a
obscenities
bit
that-
much.
Look,
We're not
look,
prepared
look.
to accept every obscenity, to be clear.
Oh no! No!
Response.
Come on!
Oh, perfect.
Come on!
The sad thing is, you're gonna think that was a bit. No, I wasn't feeling like that at all.
That's
Oh man. I mean, talk to me though. How about Sharpie joining the show and everything like that? How's that been?
She is fantastic. She brings a completely different point of view than what I or Alon possibly could have. She's someone who, we had a bit of transition when, when John and
And Elon, right?
no, not Elon.
Ephraim.
No, Ephraim was gone for a while.
Anka.
When John and Donka were
Oh,
leaving,
okay.
because my brain is shut off.
Yeah,
No,
it's
that's-
fine.
I was
Yeah.
just letting you work through it, man. I knew who you meant, but I was
Yeah,
just
for
letting
sure,
you figure it
So-
out.
But I have DMs from her saying, "Hey, let me on the show. I want to be on the show. Let me on the show." They're like, "Okay, let me talk to the guys," and then the guys became less guys,
Yeah.
and then even less guys, and they're like, "Okay, come on in."
Go on in, yeah. Water's fine.
I think it's great, man. The result is a really good show for sure. It airs just before our show goes on. Starts at 4 p.m. Well, whatever your time zone is. But,
7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Twitch.tv/Best of V Show. We're online on Thursdays on YouTube as well. Thursday mornings, as long as I can get the editing done. Please let me get the editing done.
Oh yeah, it's great. I really recommend that everybody watch. Please to check it out. And thanks a lot for coming on to chat with us about that and everything else, dude.
Yeah, but
thank
before you go, I always ask the question: where did the handle come from? AceKingOffSuit, obviously a poker reference here.
Oh God, there is an alternate timeline where I am the last hairbender. But
What?
so I was, when I was going to tournaments, I was doing this thing where I would enter as there. I was bullied a bit in school, because I was smart, and
You're the class president. Come on, what a nerd.
no, this was after. This was in the not cool to be smart period. But there's this one guy who would call me, like Eddie Murphy, Albert Einstein, a whole Shinosaurus Rex, which I can laugh at now
Yeah.
because they're kind of funny. But yeah, I would enter a lot. I would enter tournaments under a different name, and none of them really felt like they'd stick. And then I went with the last hairbender.
That's so good. It really is good.
It's a really good one. But the thing is, like, when I signed up for Reddit, and Twitter, like, this was during the or it wasn't during the poker boom, but I was into the poker boom when the poker boom was happening. And AceKingOffSuit was the first poker name I could think of that wasn't taken. So I signed up for Reddit on that. I signed up for Twitter with that name, and I became a lot more known for my schedules than my play. So I'm like, screw it. I just might as well be AceKingOffSuit.
I could have been calling you the last hairbender this whole time.
You
I'm
could
literally
have.
calling you the last airbender from now on.
100%.
It's Que sera, sera.
Well, what will be is that I'm going to be calling you that from now on. Did you not use your one use? Did it not happen?
He did.
No, you said it.
Did
I
you not
noticed it.
catch?
I literally called it out.
Yeah.
I said, hey, I saw that coming.
Oh, I didn't hear it. I missed
You're
it.
just so
You just
desensitized to
yeah.
swears. Jesus.
I mean, the
Probably
problem
true.
was that David was falling asleep on the show, I think. So
Oh
I
my
think
god,
that
what a
I think that was
segue of
happening.
sorts. All right, dude. Thanks a lot for coming on to the show. You can follow him on Twitter at The Last Hairbender.
Is that taken? I mean, you gotta go claim that right now.
Somebody,
dude, just to make-
dude, that's gotta be
It's gotta
taken.
be taken.
That's-
Yeah,
That's
Somebody's
gotta
the
be
last airbender.
taken.
Yeah.
all right.
This account does not exist.
Take it now. Take
It might
it now.
exist in 5 minutes.
Just create it.
Right,
Create
yeah,
it
yeah,
now.
that's-
Create it. Because if you don't, somebody in the chat is gonna
All
do
right,
it
got it.
right now.
For
so
sure.
Oh,
yeah.
God. I gotta
Thanks.
sign out then. Oh, no. All right. I gotta go.
Okay.
Later.
All right.
Go to sleep.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Peace.
All right, bud.
All right, there we go. Thanks to the last hairbender for coming on to the show here. And again, I mean, we should probably try. I mean, I don't know if I can be reliable enough on it, but at 4 p.m. Pacific time, we should just like host the show like on our channel, like just automatically. Can
I'm
we?
down.
Actually, I think we can just set it up to automatically host them,
Indeed, we
right?
can.
Yeah, let's
do
just do
that.
that. Let's just do
Yeah,
that.
you got
then.
it. Good
Yeah.
call. Yeah. If I'm never not working, which is honestly rare at that time, but if I'm ever not, then I'm always watching that.
Okay.
I-
Okay.
I really recommend checking it out. All right, cool. Well, we're going to move on to the next one. Again, we only had the guest at the beginning because he had to go to sleep really early.
Right.
And he has to wake up really early for work. So, very reasonable request. Happy to move it around a little bit. But let's move on to the rest of the show.
Yeah, so one of the things that we're going to try to do here is just try to add some fun stuff to the stream, to the show and everything. So we're introducing this concept called Timer Busters. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but next to our name are these stars, like right down there. You can actually see it says J. Chenzor Star Ultra. So this is like, I mean, for those America Got Talent fans out there, this is like our golden buzzers. Like we can only use one per show, basically, right? We're only allowed.
We don't have to use it. We just only get to
Correct.
use one. each.
Right, but the idea is there's a lot of times we run out of time and Tubo's like, you know what? We're out of time, so let's move on. And like we're like, no, I want to keep talking some more. So we've added the concept of the Timer Buster, where each of us once a week are allowed to just say, you know what? I want to keep talking. We activate our Timer Buster, and once we've activated, we get 2 minutes we've determined right now. We may change the time as it was before, but we add 2 minutes to the clock. And oh dang, last hairbender is taken.
And we're the only one who can talk during that time.
Yes, and we're the
we have
only
the
one that
last
can
word.
Yes,
You,
and
when,
then
when you
a
use
very
it, you
last
get,
word.
you get the last word on the topic, and then
Right.
we got to move on. Everybody else is annoyed, but that's what's fun about it.
right. And so what we're going to do here then is we have these Timer Busters, and do you want to demo the Timer Busters for everybody here? Because we might not be guaranteed to use them all on stream. Each person can just type in the chat to
Get Tobo busted.
Oh no!
That's-
Oh no! He did it! He did it! The madman. Well, I can't be talking. Actually, it's all on TuboWare now.
No, I don't have anything else to say. I'm just demoing for everyone.
Right. So that's Tubo's Timer Buster. David, do you want to show your Timer
You'll
Buster?
see mine when it's good and ready.
All right.
bucko.
Well, I'll show you mine here. This is mine here.
3, 2, 1, go!
That's my Timer Buster. It says danger time, but I call it anger time. I think
It's
anger
the
time.
anger time.
Yeah, it's anger time because that's the way that I am. So
How
silent.
absolutely how dare you, TC Punk? I can't believe it. Anyway, that,
David
can't
will
wait
be a
for the
fart.
fart sounds played over 1984 Dune scenes.
what a read! What a read! All right, let's move on, and maybe it'll come up.
Yep. And see, I love it. Thank you, Axiom, for trying. We've made sure that you guys can't activate our Timer Busters.
Yeah.
Only
you
us can
We
activate
knew what you'd all be
them.
up to.
Absolutely. I would do it too if I were them.
Yeah, for sure.
It would just be constant. It would just be, we would just see this all day. So here we go.
3, 2, 1, go!
So there
Host
you go.
for uninterrupted rant. All right, cool. Yeah, well, let's make it happen
Yep.
by
All
moving
right.
on to the next topic.
So let's talk about the next topic. If you guys came in here and saw the intro and saw the picture of a dude sleeping on a pillow and wondering what the hell is that all about, there's not a lot of news going on today, and so I figured this was something that we could talk about because it literally happened at NEC this past weekend, and the clip kind of went viral, and it was very, very, like I said, it was viral, and basically the clip is Sir Ainsworth on commentary at NEC coming back from a break, and he's commentating with who's he commentating with? I forget.
The swag.
Don't recall.
Swag,
there
that's
you go.
right, yeah. And Swag starts talking, and Sir Ainsworth is off to the side, and he's. Do you want me to play the clip, David?
Absolutely, I want you to play the clip. Yeah.
It wasn't even a break. What was it then?
It was. I'm pretty sure it's in between matches.
yeah. It wasn't. Yeah.
It was. It was.
coming
It was.
back from a
It was
match.
straight. They were in. Yeah, they were in match, and my boy nodded off.
Oh man! Oh, I thought it was coming back from a break. Hang on a second. Why is this not playing?
Strong shot.
All right, let's do this full screen. Let's bring it up here. The video. Where is my thing?
Absolutely, we play the clip.
All right, here we go. Yeah, so here you go.
Poor guy. I feel bad
let me,
for him.
let me put the volume up so you guys can hear this.
Strong showing, Gio Braun. You love to see the Spider-Man. Hey, you good? Yo. Luke, you good? You
It has been a long day, my brother. And y'all don't understand how cold it is in this room.
strong showing.
I like that he has his arms in his jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is bundled up like this. Ready.
Yes.
He's ready for the nap. Like you do this, you're setting yourself up. Like that's the I'm gonna take a nap move. 100%.
And I like that when he woke up, he first looked at the camera. Like that was his eyes went immediately to the camera.
Yeah.
Like, not to anybody else. Not to No, he knew exactly where to look. It was genius, actually. So I feel a little bit bad. Our intention is not to pick on him. In fact, we're going to be talking about our own experiences with this.
Yeah.
And he said that what happened was that he had flown to Atlanta to hang out with some friends. So that was a lot. He was tired from that. And then the next day he flew to Philadelphia for NEC, and his room wasn't ready for him to check into, so he couldn't go to sleep. And then Marvel started, and then it just ended up going super late to like midnight or something. And it was just like this circumstance that's a real big unfortunate mess. And as a result, he was really tired.
Dude, I saw it and I was dying laughing, not because I thought I wasn't laughing at him. I was laughing definitely with him because, as David can tell you, this is a very common problem for me on commentary. I get sleepy a lot on commentary, and I even tweeted out that the worst that it ever was, I've told the story on stream before, was that commentating pre-patch Street Fighter Cross Tekken, I almost fell out of my chair. Like, this was for the 25th anniversary. This was in Austin, Texas. We were doing the 25th anniversary. I almost fell out of my chair, and Nidell, who was streaming and working at Capcom at the time, looked at me and was like, really?
Well, for that event, that was, what was it, Cross Tekken and Third Strike and Street Fighter 4? And was there ST as well?
Yeah, well, I think so. We were commentating a lot of,
and basically
Cross
it was
Tekken.
only on us. We were the only commentators for it. And so we did 12 hours a day or something like that.
Cross
for it.
Tekken was the newest game, so it was always last.
It was last, yeah. So like 12 hours into this thing, a game that James was not into was the very last one, and it's a slow one. I didn't enjoy it at first. I got to a little bit. I really liked the follow-up actually, but for sure that version of it was a really slow game. And I totally understood. But yeah, you did almost fall out of your chair that one time.
James, you're like the end of FGC commentary. Like the sniper, the old man sniper in Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah.
Was like a super specialized sniper, the greatest sniper probably of all time, right? Very good at what he does. But he's old and he just falls asleep sometimes.
And if you actually
James Chen, you're the end.
And if you don't play the game for a long time and come back and they detect it, I think it was like 3 days, he actually dies
like
of old
that.
age.
Yeah, he just dies.
Which is so freaking genius, by the way. Shout outs to Kojima. But David has definitely kicked me and hit me a bunch of times to wake me up. I also told the story that I think it was at Combo Break or something. I was commentating with Sajam, and at one point I just like started phasing out, and for some reason I started thinking about like Justin Wong's matches or something. And so I woke up and I was like, oh God. And yeah, blah. And with Justin Wong's Monot, and then like Justin's not even playing. And I was like, God, how do I make this make sense? And I was like, if Justin was playing, and like Sajam just looked at me like, what the hell is even happening here? And I had to explain to him like in the break room what the hell happened.
Dude, he thought you were having a stroke. He was like, what is going on?
I was definitely going senile, dude. I was definitely going senile, and it's a problem. I mean, the reason why I liked it is because I had a chance to talk about it, because while on one hand it sounds like, damn, James, you're just like not professional at all, right? But dude, there's two factors to this. One, I've often compared commentary to driving a car long distance. You're like focused, you're sitting. And it just, when you drive a car long distance, have you ever just got to that point where you just can't stay awake, and then it's just because it's just droning, and like, even though you're not doing anything, it's like hard to stay awake. I think commentary is a lot like that. We can barely even remember matches that happened 5 minutes ago. We can't even keep track of the score count half the time, right? Like, it's weird. It's really hard to do. Secondly, honestly, like, this is not even outside of my sleep schedule. This is a problem that I've actually had for most of my life. At my job, I had to warn my managers that I fall asleep during meetings a lot of the time. I am the person that falls asleep while driving. Like, my brother has to like keep me awake when we were going to college and stuff like that. Like on the freeway, we'd have to try to keep each other awake and stuff like that. It's really bizarre, but talking to someone else who suffered from the same problem, they said that a lot of it has to do with bad nostrils, deviated septum kind of thing, because one, I have sleep apnea, so I snore a lot and everything like that, but you don't get enough oxygen to your brain. So that's what makes you fall asleep in those kind of situations. So and I've had that problem like my whole life, and so it happens during commentary as well, which is kind of hard.
Well, I will say that when you like realized the sleep apnea and you took steps for it, and also we were no longer doing 12 hours a day. I see people talking about that in the chat. That was like an early commentary thing that definitely happened, and just doesn't happen, and hasn't happened for a long time at this point. So it's not like as much of a problem for you as it once was.
I mean, sometimes, David, you'll see me stand up during commentary. That's also a method that I try to use to kind of fight that as well. So,
for sure. For me, I haven't actually fallen asleep on commentary, but I've been really tired. I was thinking about this. I was a few times when we were doing Wednesday Night Fights back in the day and showing up every week. I remember being really tired on a few of those occasions, and like not really having much to add. And there was also one time when I did two majors in one weekend, which I think were Final Round and
the KI World Cup.
The KI Cup,
Yes.
And that was, I didn't fall asleep for sure, and I was excited. I mean, it was a really hype event, but I was definitely like not at the top of my game. So I was for sure a little tired. Those are the situations that I can think of where it's come closest for me. What about you, TuboWare?
Wish I could relate. A professional like me, always on top of my game. 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, Doesn't matter. Never get tired. Voice never cracks, never breaks. Never mess up a segue. I'm just the greatest there is, ever was, and ever will be. So I wish I could relate to you guys out there falling asleep, but no, seriously, I've legitimately never actually, like got it, like
Dude,
nodded off.
Wait till you get older. Wait till you get older, man.
Bro, I'm old. I'm about to be 34 in a couple months. I'm an old man now. I'm not a spring chicken anymore.
Well,
But also, I haven't done live tournament commentary in almost 2 years. Frosty Faustings will be the first time since Frosty Faustings in 2020. So, I guess. Oh, yeah, surprise! I'll be at Frosty's. But yeah, like I've definitely had some rough times.
Yeah.
The last in-person combo breaker, actually, I made some real bad choices. I was in like the 24-hour, one of the many 24-hour areas, and I stayed up talking with people until like 5 a.m. and I had to be up for a commentary at 11, I think, is when the block was. Dang. So I tried to go back into my room. By the time I got back to my room, it was bright outside. So I couldn't fall asleep, and I nodded off for like an hour and a half. And when I woke up, I had the worst cold ever, like snot just falling out of my face.
No.
And Airborne was actually sick too. The commentator I was doing top 8 with this is for MVCI, the last in-person combo breaker MVCI. So we were both like terribly sick. But the matches were so cool, and I'm very lucky that Kinder Party was top 8. He was top 8, and he played really well against Dual Kevin. So that kind of seeing your boy up there doing that will get your blood flowing. And I got lucky because even though the matches were really, really good, I was hurting. I was very, very hurt. That's probably like the one real bad story I have with where like I just want to get this. Like even though I'm having fun, Jesus, I want this to end. I'm so tired.
Yeah, I think one of the hardest commentary sessions that David and I did was Evo Pools for Marvel 3. Like, it was like the vanilla Marvel 3, and it was the 8 a.m.
Were those the 8 a.m.s? Oh.
Yeah. We did that for SF4 as well.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we were more familiar with SF4. This is like the first year of Marvel, and we were doing it, and like, the players weren't very good.
Yeah, dude. Vanilla Marvel 3 pools at Evo sounds like, woof, what do you even commentate?
Round 1 of pools is always tough at Evo because so many people show up, and very few of them have actual like plans to place top 8 at Evo. Right? A lot of people are just going there to hang out, which is obviously legit. But that means that oftentimes, to be frank, the very first round matches are people who are like not intending to win the pool. And those are pretty tough matches to watch and commentate sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I will say one thing, too, is that I still remember this, too. This was really odd to me. I have this memory. If you guys remember APOC, right? You guys know APOC, right? There was one year at EVO where APOC ran up to me, and he was asking me how my commentary was going or whatever like that, and I was just like, I'm really sleepy. He's like, yo, this is the next wave of stuff right here. Like, this is like this little... He just handed me this tiny little bottle, and he was like, this is like an energy drink kind of thing, right? Like, this is going to be the next big thing. It's supposed to keep you up. Try some. And I was like, all right. I tried it.
8-hour energy?
It was like the most disgusting thing I'd ever tasted. I was like, this is gross. This will never become a thing. And look where we're at now.
What was it?
I don't know.
8-hour energy, right?
It was just like was some sort of energy drink that probably was before 5-hour energy. You remember 5-hour energy was the first one.
That's what I meant. 5-hour energy.
Yeah.
I absolutely thought you were going to say that it was cocaine.
No. It was not. It was not. It was not.
You don't drink it. People generally do it because they like how it smells.
Right. Now, here's the crazy thing was I still remember the first year 5-hour energy came out. And this was before I got my CPAP device. So this is when I still had the sleep apnea. So that Evo, I remember drinking about 25 to 30 hours worth of 5-hour energy drink during the course of that weekend to try to stay awake. And it was miserable. And I will tell you right now, and this is, shout outs to Red Bull, because Red Bull actually works pretty decent for me whenever I get tired. There's a lot of the ICFC EU streams, because those are early in the morning for me. I have to chug a Red Bull, while I'm doing the commentary for that, just to be able to maintain the energy and such. But
shout outs to sugar-free Red Bull, #1 flavor.
Yeah.
Guys, we're trying to get Monster as a sponsor, okay? We love Monster. We really love Monster, yeah.
I love the way that it burns my mouth. That's my favorite thing about Monster.
I mean, honestly, G Fuel's really good too. It tastes really well. Although G Fuel gets me more wired, I think, than Red Bull does. And I will say,
G Fuel technically a pre-workout? Aren't you supposed to do stuff after you take G Fuel?
Maybe.
I don't know, but the color it turns my tongue is always impressive. That's my favorite thing about G Fuel.
I will say also another thing though is that watermelon Red Bull is dangerous for me, because I actually have gotten to the point where I really like the way that it just tastes, and I can drink a lot of watermelon Red Bull.
Yeah, I stopped drinking Monster because I was drinking 2 a day every day for 2 weeks straight. It was not a good look.
I know for one event.
I would say that the hardest thing to commentate for me with respect to people falling asleep is not when they're actually asleep, because I've commentated with people who are asleep a couple of times.
Yeah,
That's not that big of a deal. You see that they're asleep, and okay, well,
you punch them.
No, I mean, whatever.
He's kicked me in the feet. He kicks me in the feet. Yeah.
That has happened, but it's just not that big of a deal, because I know that they're asleep. They're not going to be contributing. Fine. It's just on me for this period of time until they wake up, whatever. What is harder for sure is when they're on the line between being awake and not awake. That's the hardest, absolutely, to commentate.
Yeah, that's when you get the Justin Wongman situation.
100%. 100%.
Lucid dreaming.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Or it's when you get somebody who's talking because they recognize that they're about to fall asleep. One way to avoid falling asleep is to talk. Try to keep yourself awake. Let's talk. And it's just inane. And it's just like what I was saying right now. Talk. It's just useless.
You start to slur.
That's hard. Yeah, it sounds weird. As the co-commentator, you can't make any predictions about what's my co-commentator gonna say next. You just have no idea, because they don't know either. They're about to fall asleep. That is actually a little bit harder than actually commentating with somebody who's actually asleep.
And what's funny is, I mentioned this on social as well, but I've gotten to the point now where I have so much experience with getting sleepy on commentary that sometimes when I'm at home and I'm listening to streams, I can tell when someone's falling asleep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you just start hearing them talking, and then you can hear the kind of things they're saying, and you know how it feels when you get into that weird state. And so the connections that they're making between the points that they're talking are just off enough that I know that's what's happening.
For sure.
Yeah, but no, I mean, Blocks with Face was actually saying, avoid sleeping while driving. Yeah, I used to have that problem all the time. And me and my brother, we used to live really far away from UCLA the first year that I was going. We lived in El Monte because we had a relative that lived out there. So that's 2-hour drive both ways, because we were driving through the heavy traffic. And yeah, every morning, and especially on the way back, because what happened to Ainsworth as well is he said it got cold. I will tell you that temperature is also a huge determining factor on how well I can stay awake. If it's too cold or if it's too warm, dude, that is the recipe for putting something.
All right, baby bear, you got to be just right, huh?
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
Right,
I mean, come on, dude. We're commentators. You have to cater the venue to us, right? I mean, we're the stars. No, I'm just kidding.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%.
All right, everybody, enough of this. Here's what I have to say.
You can't use it in the middle. You can only use it with the timer.
Use it in the middle of the timer. What is this?
We're clearly just droning on at this point, so I suggest that we move on to the next topic.
Well,
got him.
Do it again in case people missed it, because they have to see the text here.
Objection!
I want it to be known that it actually wasn't my idea to have the fart noises in there. True story. Actually, was not my call. Now,
Yeah.
I think
Sh-
it's genius, and I didn't say no to it, but it wasn't my idea.
Shout outs to there's actually just an objection generator out there which I use for that, and it just generates that, and you can choose all the characters, the different reactions, and Phoenix Wright slamming the table I felt like was the appropriate one right there. So yeah.
It is excellent, no doubt about it. But yeah, we should probably move
But
on.
in case you guys have just joined and don't know what the hell that was, those are our timer busters that we can actually just type in here to to extend the timer for just a little bit, and then
3, 2, 1, go!
have the last word on a topic like that. So
You have to delete David Starr. Jesus, that David Starr. You have to delete David Starr.
is David Starr a person that
I just think that's like a book about Jewish people, and it
usually
just
call it the Star
David
of
Starr.
David. It's usually
Star
that.
of David.
It's
Well,
usually
listen,
Star of
man, I
David.
don't know. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just saying. As soon as I said that, I was like, oh, well.
I mean,
shit.
I just love the fact that David's timer buster, he has to type in David Buster, which sounds like
I
the
like it.
franchise. I think that's endlessly amusing to me that it sounds like the arcade
I love it.
franchise. So
I'm
so
down
there
for
you
sure.
go.
All right, let's move on to the next topic.
All right. When did you want to take a break?
Fuck it,
let's do
just
it.
Go.
Yeah,
Let's just run it.
Yeah, cool with me.
I mean, normally we take the break so we can prepare the guest. But we
Yeah, but
prepare
then
the
we can
guest.
also make like 10 cents in ads, right? I mean,
True. It's true. Well, I mean,
I'd rather have my 3 minutes back of my life. Than
All
10
right,
cents
let's
in
move
ads.
on to the Red Bull Kumite, which is coming up this weekend. It is, of course, the 13th and 14th of November, and it will be an event that's happening in person, offline, in the
right.
meat space.
in the meat space?
In the meat space in Las Vegas.
The meat space.
As compared to the not meat, the vegetarian space?
How do you guys not know the term the meat space?
The hell is this?
It's not virtual. You haven't existed online
I
in
just
the past.
call that in person or
Yes,
real
that's
life.
the joke, right? It's a joke about that. All right, moving on. I can't believe my
I seriously thought that was the name of the venue or something. Like, because I could totally
in
picture.
Las Vegas.
Dude, a venue in Las Vegas called the Meat Space? I mean, come on. Like MEET space, right? Like,
I buy it.
seriously,
I buy
right?
it. There could be a place called the Meat Space in Las
There
Vegas.
could,
There's
yeah.
100% probably a place already
And if
in
there
Las
isn't, we
Vegas
should
called
make it.
the Meat Space.
Yeah. Maybe there are a couple places outside of Vegas that you can go to that you can visit called the Meat Space. Particular meetings.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, moving on. Here's what's coming on.
Egg
at
Slut.
the Red
Egg
Bull
Slut. Not
Kumite.
Slut Egg. Egg Slut is the name of the restaurant. So that is definitely also in Vegas and in Los Angeles as well. So
And it's a good restaurant. They got great sandwiches.
yes.
Red Bull Kumite, again, the November 13th and 14th. Here's what's happening. They have 3 games, Street Fighter V and Guilty Gear Strive and Tekken 7. And for each one of them, they have 8 or 16 players, including last chance qualifiers. Let me just run through who the players are, because
Yeah,
the lists are really great. For Street Fighter V, it is Big Bird, Mena RD, iDom, Mono, Oil King, Angry Bird, Mr. Crimson, Punk, Problem X, Brian F, Ronaldinho BR, Uzura, Yosan, NL, Goichi, and LCQ winner, which happens in person, so we don't know quite yet. Strive, BNBBN, Sonic Fox, Apology Man, Daru Ino, Gobo's in there, Uria Legion, Skill, the Soul Calibur player,
Yes.
who actually won Strive at the Red Bull Gladiators event. We didn't actually talk about that, but that was an event that happened a few weeks ago that took place in a Roman Colosseum.
That's right.
An
Yeah.
actual ruin of a Roman Colosseum. So cool. Or maybe it was an amphitheater now that I think about it, but whatever. That's super, super cool. And then Diaphone won the online LCQ for Strive.
I have heard amazing thing about Skill's Guilty Gear play. So, because I talk to the EU guys for ICFC all the time,
Right.
and they're like, yeah, no, C4 actually fights against skill, and he actually says he's ridiculous in the game, so that's going to be awesome.
You won that event. Tekken has Cuddlecore, Book, Ni, Gen, Super Akuma, Anakin, Arslan Ash, and then there's an LCQ that happens in person for that event as well. So 8 players for Strive, 8 players for Tekken, and 16 players for Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, and this is going to be in Vegas. It's going to be at the same venue, right? The esports
space.
arena.
Meat-based, yeah.
The esports arena in Vegas.
Is it at Esports Arena? I don't remember offhand. It's definitely in Vegas.
Right.
That would make sense,
It's
I
not
guess.
open to the public though, right? So there's no live audience there. I'm
There
not
is
sure.
not, as far as I know.
Yeah, I know some people are going to go and try to spectate. So I'm sure they'll let some people in, probably depending on who they are and such. But
Yeah, I was going to say some people, by that you mean known figures in the FGC. They're not letting anybody in there.
So no, it's actually not at the Esports
The meet
Arena
space.
in Luxor. It looks like it's actually at Caesars. I just looked up the address that it's,
Okay,
that it's
okay.
at. So it's at
okay,
like
it's at the meat space in Caesars then. Okay.
Caesars Meat Space. That's right.
Yeah.
So look, I mean, talk to me a little bit about who
Boy, that
you
just-
think wins among those 3.
Look, Street Fighter V is impossible to call. Every tournament, I think, for Street Fighter V is almost impossible to call. We'll hint on this, but like, you know, for East Asia, Southeast Asia, this last weekend, you know, Cien's in the bracket, and you're like, clearly Cien is going to, you know, dominate, and he goes 0-2 in top 8, right? So it's just like, I think Street Fighter V at this point in time is just, but I mean, looking at the list right there, I mean, you kind of have to go Punk or iDom at this point, right? Like, if you had to pick one, I feel like it's one of those two. Oh, spectators are allowed, people are saying.
Oh, they
Okay,
are
cool,
allowed. Oh,
cool.
sick. Cool.
Nice.
Even better. So out of all those players, you picked the 2 Americans, huh, James?
I mean, look, they would be guaranteed to win if Logan and F-Word were commentating their matches, right?
Right,
So, but I mean, look, they're 2 of the best right now, I think, and I don't think it's a crazy pick, to be honest.
I don't think it's a crazy pick either. Looking at that, I mean, first, what I want to say about it is that I think it's so cool that they made some of the picks that they did. That's one thing that always happens for Red Bull, and a good invitational. We talked about this a little bit last week. A good invitational should have players that like aren't the ones that you see every time, right? That's part of the draw as the viewer, is to see people who you're like, oh, I know they're a good player, but like I wouldn't necessarily have picked them to be here. Like that is, I think that's a really cool draw, actually. Deserving people, but like a little bit off the wall picks. So
Is that Yosan the same as the Guilty Gear Yosan player, the Testament player?
that
from a
one
long
I don't
time
know,
ago?
but he's a jury player. He's been around for quite a while.
Okay.
Very strong player, but I don't know his history before Street Fighter. I think he played her in 4 as well. He's been playing her for a long time. Anyway, my pick. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're crazy to pick one of those 2. It's just so hard to say nowadays because we have had so little international competition actually meet up, like, well, especially offline, but in any context in Street Fighter 5. At least with gear, you have like transcontinental first to 10s or whatever. You can't do that in Street Fighter 5. So, like, who really knows? Nobody really knows. It could be that Mr. Crimson's the best player in the world. Would I be surprised? No, I wouldn't be surprised at that. But yeah, I guess if I had to make a pick, I'd probably say Punk, I guess. I don't know. I don't feel confident in that at all.
No, like I said, it's impossible to pick Street Fighter V winners at this point. I mean, does anyone stand out to you, Tubo?
I like my boy Goichi all the way.
Goichi.
I have no reason to pick Goichi. I'm just thinking Goichi different. No, I mean I think iDom's like the obvious choice. I mean,
Dude,
he's
some
pretty
people,
incredible.
some people are talking about commentators in the chat as well. And yeah, Sajam,
Sajam will be there.
this is going to be the first time he's commentating Street Fighter V in like 2 years or something like that, he said.
It's the first time commentating in person at all. In like
in like 2 years. It's
That's
ridiculous,
how it is
dude.
for almost everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously he should be able to commentate Street Fighter in conclusion.
Well, he
Problem
can
X is
obviously,
going,
right? He's going to Red Bull.
For
Kumite,
this,
yeah.
Yeah.
But Capcom should probably look into
They should
talking
probably
to
look into
Sage
that.
at some point.
Yeah. And then
Nephew is not in the list.
Nephew's
Guhak.
not in the list. Yeah, look, I mean, again, they had 16 players. You'll notice that it's not very heavy on Japanese player participation, but they got players from like multiple different continents. And I'm really happy with
Ronaldinho, I think, is a wonderful pick.
Super
Getting
cool.
him from Brazil to represent. I'm super happy about that one.
And then in Strive, talk to me about who you like again. The players are BN, BBN, Sonic Fox, Apology Man, Daru Ino, Gobo, Uriel Legion, Skill, and Diaphone.
It all depends on who Gobu is playing.
Oh, yeah.
All depends on that. If he wants to be stubborn and pick Gold Lewis, I don't like him. If he wants to win the event and he picks Zato, I like Gobu free. I like Gobu free.
No way.
Winning from winners, I like Gobu.
No.
Winning from winners, not losing a set
He played
all day.
Zato in some of those ICFC Asias, and Daru won all of those events.
This is not online though. This is offline.
Dude, and
We haven't seen. I do think it matters. But also
no, but I'm saying you don't think it's gonna make Daru better too?
No, I think Daru plays a very reactionary character. I think Zato puts you in mix-ups where you can't react. I mean, obviously, there's some real nasty shit that Ino does as well. But I think Ino is easier to deal with in neutral on reaction offline than she is online, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I just feel like both of the characters are going to be a little bit easier to block offline, I think, so...
I've never been hit by an overhead from Zato during Eddie Pressure in my life.
Who do you pick, David?
It's hard for me to say. I don't know which Sonic Fox is going to show up, I guess, is maybe how I would take this. If Sonic Fox, I know Fox has been playing a lot again, but if it's the Fox who's like motivated and is taking it seriously and really training up and wants to do their best and like intends to do their best, then I think I'm going to pick Fox. But I don't know if that's the case necessarily. So it's hard for me to say. I mean, I should say this. We haven't talked about this. There's going to be prizes on the line. So first place for Strive Top 8 is $6,000. Second place is $2,500. And then third and fourth get $1,250. So it's quite a drop off and quite a bit for first place. I'm gonna go with Fox. I'm gonna go with Sonic Fox. You know what? There it is.
That's a bold pick. Cotton.
Isn't it weird? That you can say it's a bold pick to pick Sonic Fox in anything?
Yeah,
that's super weird, right?
It is weird.
Like usually it's like that's the obvious. Sonic Fox is in the tournament, easy pick. That's who I'm picking. But yeah, it's weird that we have to be like, Sonic Fox. That's real questionable all of a sudden.
That's who I like.
Tekken, we've got Cuddlecore, Book, Ni, Gen, Super Akuma, Anakin, Arslan Ash, and of course LCQ winner. So we obviously can't pick that. So because the LCQ's in person. What do you go with that one? We'll start with David first this time.
I just don't know enough about it to feel confident in saying either way, to be honest.
Pick something, nerd.
I'm going to say Ni.
David sounded like that guy who was being questioned about critical race theory in that clip. You know, I want to vote against critical race theory. Do you know what is critical race theory? Well, I'm not in the position to talk about that at this moment because
Thanks for the comparison, buddy.
The things that I've heard about it, I just don't like. What have you heard about it? Well, you know, I'm not in a position.
Yeah, Nia's gonna win. I, for one, am cheering for Cuddlecore.
Yeah, of course.
But I actually like Super Akuma. I don't know much about Tekken. I'm just a Super Akuma fan because people get real upset when he wins. So I'm cheering for Cuddlecore, Midwest Power, but also Super Akuma winning would be okay with me too.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it'll be Ni or Arslan Ash, right? Like, I feel like those are two of them going in as favorites going into that one. But probably, David said, I mean, obviously, I don't know the Tekken well enough. I don't know how it's been going. And I know that the game is the tiers in the game are very different than, even when I was last playing it with a bunch of new characters and stuff. Fakumran, who was added after I stopped playing, and he's clearly one of the top characters. Like, I saw tier lists, and he's still at the very, very top. And so it's hard for me to really judge. I don't know how, like, a lot of these guys are doing and such.
All right, well, congratulations to Nee in advance for getting the Ultra Chen bump and taking the big W. That's $6,000 for first place for each one of the different games.
Okay.
So
Not bad.
that
Money.
same prize payout that I mentioned, 6,000, then 2,500, then 1,250, 1,250. That applies to each one of the games. With the exception that Street Fighter V also has 750 for 5th through 8th places. So
Okay. Nice.
there you go. Look, it's going to be this weekend. You should absolutely watch. Red Bull always does such a cool job with the production aspect of it as well. Not just the actual tournaments, which are like always fun. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of fun action, just fighting game wise. But their production is always unique and interesting. And I don't know what they're doing this time, but it's gonna be fun, I'm sure.
So painful. Like, I'm just gonna say, like, I was invited to go to do commentary for the event, but I cannot make it. And we'll talk about why a little bit later on the show. But I wanted to go so badly to do, because, like, I know their production is always so sick, and I know they always do a lot of cool things. I really want to do it. I know L.I. Joe is going to be there, but I think he's more in the host role. He's going to be doing, like, hosting duties and such. But outside of him and Sajam, I'm not sure who else is going to be there in terms of commentary. Do we know?
I definitely saw a bunch of other people say that they're going to go. I really should have written that down beforehand. To be honest, I don't remember. I'm sure they got a bunch of great people. It's going to be great commentary. I have no doubt about that. And then you can watch it on twitch.tv/Red
But
Bull.
the problem is they're missing the best.
Yeah.
Shit, I got to do the TuboWare
Yeah, it's
thing.
a shame I'm
Didn't
not
even
going to be
ask
there.
Yeah.
I told you.
All
Called
right,
them.
cool.
All right.
Can we move on?
Yeah. Well, no break today. No break. We're just going.
We
should
can
just
go.
run
It's,
it
it's,
through,
a short,
man.
it's a shorter show. We just
Sure,
don't have as
no
much
problem.
to talk
Run it
about.
through.
All right.
Yeah.
So for the 5-5 matchup, we got one question. So we're not gonna have any votes, unless you guys want to vote. Unless you guys want to vote on the one question.
Yeah, if you really want to vote on the one thing,
You can type it in.
You can
right
type
now if you'd like to.
!1 in the chat right now to vote for this question right here. Whoops. Ooh, this is a long question. With in-person events happening again, more and more, is there anything you'll be doing differently when you attend events moving forward? I mean, for me, again, like, I don't want to seem like a jerk or anything, but I'll probably be shaking less hands of people that I don't know and such. I mean, if I see my friends, I'm going to give them hugs. That's just how I am. I'm a hugger. I have to. But, I'll probably be shaking less hands. I might actually just wear a mask for a large portion of the time when I'm just walking around the floor. I might just wear masks and stuff just to be safe. And I don't know. We'll see how it goes, because, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Frosty might be the first offline event I'll go to in a while. So we'll see how that goes. I actually am not 100% sure how it's going to affect how I am at an event. In the end, maybe nothing might change. Who knows? I don't know. But definitely I would like to see people wearing more masks, because the conflus are way too common. And we can actually do a lot to stop that by having people wear masks. Again, it's tough because it's the thief quandary, right? Like, everyone's got to wear a mask, but if one sick person doesn't wear a mask, everyone gets sick anyway, right? So it's hard.
What about you, Brock?
I'm hoping eventually not much will change for me eventually, but that's not going to be realistic in the near future. So yeah, I'll be like James. I'll be wearing a mask most of the time. Probably anytime I'm not eating or commentating, I'll be masked up when I'm at Frosty's coming up, and anything in the future beyond that for the foreseeable future. I mean, I'm not so afraid of getting anything. I just want to be a cause that I'm spreading it. I don't want to be that guy that is not wearing a mask and has helped spreading the pandemic. It's more or less for everyone else than myself. I do mask up everywhere I go, but I fucking hate it. I don't like. I'm a fat guy, right? I'm a mouth breather, unintentionally sometimes. It gets real moist.
Oh yeah.
Inside there, like I hate it. But it's not about me. So
I mean,
yeah, probably I would imagine for 2022 I'll be masking up at probably every event. Hopefully COVID goes away by 2023 for the most part, and I don't have to do that anymore. I mean, once COVID numbers drop, I'll go back to normal, whatever the hell that was. But yeah, definitely less hand touching of people.
Yeah.
Definitely more hand washing. Absolutely masking up for the foreseeable future. I mean, just stuff like that. Otherwise, not much. I'm still gonna be out back, smoking a blunt with the homies. Like that's not gonna be much different for me. So that's that is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, I just want to add that I'm a mouth breather because of deviated septums.
Yeah, so yeah, about the moist mask, dude. That shit sucks.
I can't even breathe through my nose most of the time. Like if I try, I just don't get enough air. Honestly, I don't get enough air when I breathe through my nose.
Rough, dude.
So it's,
I'm gonna be doing things that I've already been doing when I go to stuff. I've been to shows and bars and things like that. Not a ton, but like we have done some of those things at this point. And yeah, I mean, I'm just taking the same precautions that I feel like most people are taking when they're taking it seriously. I've been wearing a mask. I've only been to places that require proof of vaccination. There's some bars and restaurants here. Actually, now in LA, as of yesterday, it's the law that you have to have proof of vaccination in order to go to gyms and theaters and I think bars as well, if I recall correctly. So quite a few things. Well, I've only been to places that require that. And even still, like I'm masking up, other people are masking up. That's how I feel safe. And at some point, like I won't need that, but like it's not yet. And I agree that it's primarily, I'm not that worried about getting COVID at this point. I got my booster recently. I'm
Getting
still
mine Friday.
masking
I haven't
up.
gotten my
this is
booster
the
yet.
time.
Actually, I haven't
You
gotten.
can sign
that
up whenever you want, man. Just go to
Yeah.
cvs.com and they'll hook you up.
So you can absolutely do that. I'm not that worried about it myself, but yeah, as TuboWare was saying, I just definitely don't want to be like a vector of spreading it. So
Yeah.
I'll be doing the same things that I'm doing now. I actually don't mind wearing a mask. I frequently forget that I'm wearing a mask. We'll come home sometimes,
Must be
and
nice.
I'll have the mask on for another 5 minutes until my wife like takes it off my face. She's like, "Do you remember not realize this?" And I hadn't realized it. So that's easy for me, luckily, and I won't mind that. I think at events, I'll probably just be cool with that. I do expect that I'd rather do like elbow bumps, I think, than like handshaking hello. I think I'd rather do that.
Dude, I mean, look.
Oh, I used to always kiss the homies right on the mouth. So I'll probably stop doing that.
Well,
I
I'm
guess.
hoping that we can continue at least that tradition.
Only in private. Only in
I'll tell
private.
you this
Only
right
if I've
now.
seen your vaccination records.
I'm just gonna say this: the Asian people had it right, man. They wore masks a long time ago, and they just bow to each other. Okay.
Well, look, I mean, the mask wearing didn't come from nowhere. The mask wearing came from their own epidemics that happened earlier this century.
Like the SARS and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's from experience.
Yep.
For sure, that's something that we should stick with. If you're sick in the future, I don't mean with COVID, but whatever, and you have to go out, sometimes you do. You got to go to work, you got to go to the store, whatever it is. I get it. Mask up.
And
At this point, I feel like we should be cool with doing that.
obviously, no spoilers in the chat, but I saw Eternals this weekend. It's a 2.5 hour movie. I had the mask on the whole entire time in the theater, so I just like.
Yeah, I saw Shang-Chi in theater and the same. I masked up the whole time.
I
I did forget about it during the movie.
Yeah, I saw No Time to Die, also another 2.5 hour movie, like mask on the whole entire time. So, even for someone like me, like sometimes when I have the mask on, I'll be like, I just want to take a nice swig of like non-mask air and, but like you get used to it after a while. So
When it comes to how things actually go at events, I don't just mean like the COVID precautions. I mean, like, how will we react in hanging out with each other again? So far, all the times that I've hung out with friends and family that I haven't seen in a year or whatever period of time it was, it's felt actually really normal in hanging out with them again. Like, it hasn't been like, wow, I haven't seen you in forever. We got to catch up. Because, like, we've been talking anyway, just like not in person. And the relationships are such that, like, it doesn't feel like anything was different. Like, time, like with your good friends or with your family, like, it just feels kind of that time hasn't passed in that sort of way. So that's how I expect to feel when I'm seeing people at tournaments again. I think that
do-
that will feel normal. I think in many ways.
I do expect a lot more people reverting back to earlier Street Fighter 4 days, where instead of hanging out in the ballroom, you hang out in hotel rooms. I think a lot of people will be doing that because they're not going to want to sit in the ballroom with a mask on all night, even though there's a 24-hour venue. I feel like people are going to be a little more cliquey at events and kind of just, shove into one of your friends' rooms, and do whatever you want, obviously, right? Like, you can't enforce a mask rule if inside your own hotel room.
Yeah.
So I do think people will do that a little bit more in general. But other than that, I don't foresee it being weird or anything like that. I mean, like, I'm excited to see everyone. Part of why I'm bothering to go to Frosty's is like, fuck, man, I miss everyone. Like, I miss being at a tournament. So I have dreams about being at tournaments. Like, and they're not nightmares by any means. Like, they're very, very happy dreams. So I very much look forward to it.
Yeah, hanging out in hotel rooms after the event. So nothing will change for me and David.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, East, I hope that comes here as well. He says that on the Japanese side, it comes from people who are feeling sick and don't want to potentially get other people sick.
Right.
Get out. Yeah, I absolutely hope that we adopt that here. I don't have super much faith that will happen in at least some places, but I think in other places it will. I mean, here most people really are masked in LA itself.
Yeah.
It's very common to see. I hope that many of those people will adopt that. Probably won't be categorical.
Who was it? I think
was
it Flotas in the chat, or someone said that they actually had someone yell at them. Oh no, it was Mookin, that someone actually yelled at them and like made fun of them for wearing masks, dude. Like that's why it'll never happen here in the States. We're never gonna get that.
You know, like if I were to hear that, I think my reaction would just be to laugh because they've like owned themselves and cell phones are rare. So it'd be a great opportunity.
Are they?
Well, maybe
are
they're not.
Cell phones rare on that side?
Maybe they're not.
Dang, that was in Canada, actually, that Mookin says. So that wasn't even here in the States. Dang, okay.
Oh, that is hardly an American-only thing, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I do feel like it was propagated by America, though. I really do.
Well, we're leading the world in jackassery, if that's what you mean. But there are jackasses all over
That's
the place.
exactly what I meant.
Yeah. All right, that's it, I guess, for this one as we wind down the clock.
No timer busters here? Oh, okay. Let's go.
We're good.
All right. So this is the I guess we can call it awesome news done quick. ANDQ portion of the stream where
we're gonna get DMCA'd by AGDQ with LOL Esports at dpg@law.com.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's coming for us.
If only we knew anybody who worked at or with or was in control of the GDQs. I don't know.
I know, like fourth in charge or whatever, you know.
I don't know anybody who
GDQ,
works there.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, iDom, after a long time of not being sponsored, was finally picked up by a team and was picked up by Team XSET. I actually don't know much about the team, but I'm obviously not the most well in tune with outside FGC esports. Do you guys know anything about the XSET team?
I know that when I looked on their Twitter page, they had about 58,000 followers.
Yeah.
So therefore, James Chen is more popular than Team XSET. Therefore, James Chen is now valued at $5 million.
Suck my nuts, asshole. The suck my nuts, asshole NFT will be going on sale in
exactly. Yep, and we're gonna start trading J Chen on the Nasdaq.
Yeah,
that goes up tomorrow. Guys, buy your stocks now.
Don't forget to buy your JC, your J coin as well.
Yeah, there you go. I'm changing my name to J Coinser very soon, so that is officially happening. So
anyway, yes, I do know XSET. I've heard of them.
Okay.
They do a bunch of different esports. This is, I think, their first time getting into the FGC, as a matter of fact. So they have a lot of experience in other esports. They also, I mean, it's not just esports. They do kind of like entertainment in the same sort of way that maybe like FaZe is not just or even primarily about esports. It's also like content creators. XSET does a lot of that as well. And I haven't heard the things that I've heard about FaZe about XSET. So congratulations to XSET. Happy for iDom. That's super cool.
Some
He's,
people
of
are saying
course,
that
extremely
they have a strong Valorant team, that they're owned by Ezekiel Elliott, who's a running back for the Cowboys. I will say that, yeah, for sure, iDom was definitely rejecting offers for sponsorship. He was definitely being sought after, and, you know, there's just not a lot of good deals out there. There are definitely some shady sponsors out there, you know.
Well, he's very well deserving. Congrats.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. So he definitely must be getting something good from XSET, like Axum suggested in the chat. Maybe they have a special sock deal for him or something like that, that he's just going to get XSET socks for the rest of his life, you know.
Actually, can I get XSET iDom socks? I would for sure buy those.
Dude.
I'd buy it.
Yeah.
100%.
If he gets
buy iDom
official
socks.
iDom socks, iDom XSET socks, I think now that you mention it, I 100% would buy that.
I'm in.
Oh, man.
I could always use more socks.
It's not quite like the In-N-Out socks that my friends have bought, but, you know, so. All right.
In-N-Out has a whole line of merchandise. I see you out there, TuboWare. If you go into an In-N-Out, they actually have, like, on their wall, they have all their merch, all their merch and apparel that you can buy in, like, every In-N-Out. So, yes. There's In-N-Out.
They make the socks
apparel,
the same thing, the same material as they make their French fries.
Oh, you mean actually potatoes? Yes, they do.
Same material. Potato socks, potato fries.
Dude, have you seen how they make
When people
their
say
French
that they
fries,
don't
dude?
like their French fries, they're telling me that they don't like potatoes. That's
Every French fry is made from potatoes, David. McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King.
Yeah, but do you know how they make those fries?
Some hide it more than others.
No,
In-N-Out-
the
In-N-Out,
difference is
they
with
are
In-N-Out.
just chopping the potato
In-N-Out cooks
right
them
there,
incorrectly.
tossing them in the oil right
They
there. You
don't
can
double
see it
fry
happen.
potatoes. They don't
You
double
could
fry
ask
them.
them
If they double
to.
fry them, yeah, you can, but you shouldn't have to. That's the point.
No, but I mean, you have the decision. I get them well done all the time, so they double fry mine all the time.
That's because you're an intelligent human being. But
Listen,
Because I like greasy shit. That's why. So
I've lived within 5 blocks of an In-N-Out for like almost 10 years across multiple different In-N-Outs and apartments. Just happens to have worked out like that. Have I been there many times? No. But the last several times I've been there, what did I get? Only fries. That's right. I went to In-N-Out only for the fries.
you're just explaining so much about your palate right now. I understand why you make the choices you do now.
Let's do it.
All
Moving on to number
goes.
7 here, and we got another topic coming up for you all.
unless Tuba wants to rant about
Nope,
In-N-Out.
we're good. Nope. I'm not doing it.
I saw him reaching for the keyboard,
Nope.
so I was like,
I was actually typing. I was typing in Discord.
okay, all right. Next topic over here.
I should have saved my star for that. Man,
Should have.
There's
well,
some gamesmanship with this thing. I gotta pay better attention to like what the coming topics are. In the future.
Oh, you wanted to talk about In-N-Out more, David?
Nah,
Is
go
that-
for it. Go for it.
okay.
Let's move on.
Well, Steam and Game for Windows Live are having a conflict right now. So Capcom has temporarily disabled Street Fighter Cross Tekken on Steam due to Game for Windows Live conflict. I've seen this happen with other games as well, other games that are actually worth playing and are good, like Metal Gear Solid 3 and such. I think it was Metal Gear Solid 2, I think, are being temporarily removed as well. So
those are being removed for a different reason, though.
Are they? I thought it was the same reason.
They have to renew the copyright on the historical videos and information they use.
I read
games.
something that it was a similar thing about the Windows for Live
it's
conflict.
just they don't have the
Okay,
copyrights for the historical data anymore
Gotcha,
and the historical
gotcha.
videos.
That's weird. Okay. Can they ever get those back?
Yeah, they're going to work on getting the copyrights again. They just let it lapse, and they apparently it was a mistake. They didn't mean to.
Okay.
Is that how law works? I don't know.
I guess that's what they reported. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
You
so
tell me.
that's
You're
a
the
question.
I
lawyer.
don't know. What am I?
Is
a
this
lawyer?
temporary or is this permanent then for the Street Fighter Cross Tekken 1?
So
right now?
what it sounded like is, yeah, you were right, James. There are other games that have this issue as well. The issue is that the game that comes packaged when you download it on Steam has a version of Games for Windows Live that does not work natively on Windows 10.
Okay.
You can manually go and get the patch or whatever you want to call it, download it, and then you can play the game fine. But the problem is you have to do this on your own. You have to do research to go find that out. People download the game, they can't play it, they refund it. It's a problem. So Capcom's just removing it. I'm assuming they're going to naturally update the Games for Windows Live version you get, because apparently you can't really disable it. Like it's a issue with Games for Windows Live games. So I'm assuming they're just going to update what the game gives you when you download it to enable it, so people don't have to do all this searching to just get their damn game to work properly. That's what I'm imagining, but it is temporary.
Yeah, I certainly know that people who are into the SFXT scene view this very positively, that they expect that since it's Capcom specifically says it's temporary, that means that players are going to have more like effective and easy access to playing Tekken
exactly.
in a way that won't make them jump through hoops and like download the fan made patch. And
Look,
stuff.
man, there's been sales on the game that have been like for like $3 or like $7 for the whole package, and I literally haven't gotten it just because of the Games for Windows Live stuff. I was like, I'm not paying $7 to go find some Microsoft patch and apply it. Like, I'm not doing it. I would be buying the game to support Capcom, not because I'm actually going to play it, right? So they could probably make a few more bucks off the title if it was a little bit easier just to play it.
I hope that happens. Okay, we move on to the tournament result roundup.
So again, we're just going to try to go through these very quickly, different than we've done before. Not much to talk about this time. I'll go through all the results, and then we'll go back and see if any of us have anything to say about any of the results. CPT South Asia was won by Oswald, who used Balrog, Laura, and Poison. So all three characters during that top 8 run. The Smash World Tour NA East Regional Finals was won by Moist Cola, not Saint Cola, not our Saint Cola here, but by Moist Cola, using Roy, Cloud, and Crom. And the Tekken Online Challenge 2021 Middle East Regional Finals was won by MD Luffy 19 with Paul. So those are the
love it.
Those are the results that we have.
Now that was probably the Street Fighter V Luffy, right?
No.
There's only one guy named Luffy, as far as I know.
Right, because
Monkey D. Luffy.
He definitely invented that name, right?
That's my understanding. Anyway,
Right,
continue on with the rest.
Nobody out there. Anyways, so basically the only thing I want to add was that the Southeast Asia tournament was very surprising. And again, just showing how strong all the different scenes are out there. You know, it came into the tournament with Cien and Brandon. Brandon, who won the Intel World Open on opposite sides of the winner's side bracket of top 8. And they both got sent to loser's bracket in their first matches. So it was a slobber knocker. Bravery. Cammy was just destroying people. Then he got destroyed by Brandon. Brandon looked unstoppable. Then he got destroyed by I Am Chuan. And then I Am Chuan reset the bracket on Oswald, who was the one who sent him to losers. But then Oswald managed to come through. And it was a really, really impressive stuff, especially with Oswald being able to use so many different characters, like using Poison specifically to stop Brandon's Akuma. It was a good tournament.
Right.
I only have this much to say about it because I definitely saw it as well. And, oh, yeah, that's right. We talked about NEC, but I didn't go through the results here as well. So NEC 2021 Guilty Gear Strive was won by Aiden Shine, the Potemkin player. Melty Blood was won by Ludovic with a Hisui and Kohaku team. Tekken 7 was won by Shin Paulo with Akuma. Soul Calibur 6 was won by Linkors with Amy and Gro. Street Fighter 5 was won by Smug with Balrog and G. Dragon Ball Fighters was won by Legendary Predator or Legendary Pred with Kid Buu, Teen Gohan, Andrew 21. MK11 was won by Gur with Garrus. Is Garrus still a strong character in the game? Still, right?
Yeah,
He's still a strong player.
I mean, he's not a top tier, but maybe he's top tier. Whatever. It's pretty up there.
And Grand Blue Fantasy Versus was won by Tega with Percival.
NEC, man, it's so cool to see events being back. I hope everybody had a good time out there. I watched a little bit of a few of these events, and it was just cool to see. It felt like things were normal-ish. Like people were saying, "Oh man, I went to this event and my buddy and I, who I drove with, and I got matched up first round because I pre-registered and my friend didn't pre-register."
Hold that
got
up.
matched up right at the beginning. It was like going back in time to 2019. Like it was, I felt a sense of normalcy when I read that tweet about what happened there. So
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
I saw the pictures too. The venue looked really, really nice, dude. It looked
did.
really nicely done.
Agreed. Very cool.
Yeah, and someone said that Linkors has Soul Calibur on lockdown. Linkors, Zefukai, who got third place. Zeph is another player who, a lot of people have said, is one of the strongest and has been winning a lot of the Soul Calibur tournaments as well. But Linkors definitely took it, and Rip City Outlaw apparently getting second place did so without. He didn't have a set where he won like 2-0 or 3-0 or anything like that. It was like hard work for him, and he was the one West Coast player who like did really well and got into the top 8 and got that far. So shout outs to Rip City Outlaw as well.
Cool to see offline events coming back.
Yeah, for sure.
And with that in mind, let's go to this upcoming set of events as well, because some offline things are happening. For example, Celtic Throwdown is coming back offline.
Sure is.
This is a major in Ireland, many years running at this point. And yay, it's going to be back in person. They've been putting out lists for commentary, and you can still head over there if you'd like to know what the streams are. That's going to be spag_TK for Tekken and Caliber. It's going to be Unequaled Media for Guilty Gear and Mortal Kombat. It's going to be As One Live for Smash Bros. And Street Fighter V, and it's going to be Lithero for Dragon Ball Fighters and Marvel 3.
But who is streaming Tough Laveau Arena?
Oh no, did I type it wrong? Shoot, sorry.
Oh no. Good question. Yeah, please check that out. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I really like some of the commentators that are in Ireland. Shauna is a Mortal Kombat commentator who I think is super good, and I'm looking forward to hearing that.
I really
Tough Love Arena.
I'm excited to see Reflex Ultimate. Like, what do you know a lot more details about that event, Tubo? Obviously, you're in the Marvel 3 scene, but it's
I didn't. I thought I put the link there. My bad.
I have not been keeping up with the Reflex circuit, mostly because it's hard to keep up because it's just K-Brad talking about it. Essentially, I just have to look out for the K-Brad tweets. But I know a lot of strong players are there. I know there's going to be an actual official East Coast versus West Coast type deal going down.
Dang. Okay.
Angelic initiated a call out of East Coast players.
Nice.
So there's going to be a somewhat East Coast West Coast. Obviously, a lot of strong players from both areas are going to be missing because there's a pandemic and not everyone's traveling.
Oh,
But yeah, it'll be interesting to watch. A lot of strong players will be in there.
I found it.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. What's the players list?
Flocker, Justin Wong, Kane Blue River, Chris G, Ryan LV, Ray, Dual Kevin, Jabril, DeadX Pride, Angelic, Mundank, Escalante, Milky, Priest, Winrich, and Prodigy. So honestly,
crap.
A really good list of some of the best Marvel 3 players
really
of
strong
all time,
players.
including like 5 Evo
KBR
winners,
is the big
4
surprise.
Evo winners.
Yeah, KBR I think is a big surprise, obviously, coming all the way out from Chile.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool to see him play offline again for the first time in 2, 3, 4 years, like a long time at this point, right?
Do you know where
It's
it
been a
takes
minute.
place?
I think Vegas, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because
I could be wrong, Mo.
I heard he's gonna be in Vegas this weekend. So
I
that
thought
makes sense.
it was taking place in Vegas, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
I wasn't planning on going, so I'm not going to pretend like I was paying attention to where the venue would be at. To me, it's on the internet, right? I can watch it. It doesn't matter.
I know F Champ was invited to it, but he couldn't make it, obviously, because he's from Philippines, and I think that they're just not allowed or something right now to travel to the U.S. I'm not sure, but there's definitely some restrictions for that. So Sunday is for seeding, Monday is for brag. Wow, it's a Sunday-Monday tournament.
Monday, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if they did that to try to
14th and
separate a little
15th.
bit from Red Bull. You know.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Marvel players are going to watch Marvel, that's for sure, and I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that as
I'm
well.
gonna try to watch that as well.
I
so.
will absolutely check some of that out for sure. Also, as James has written here, Tough Love Arena is going to have a tournament Friday, November 12th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. There's a $100 prize for that. That game is completely free to play, check it out. It is a lot of fun. It's very simple to get into, but it's actually pretty in depth once you try to do. I think that it's done a really good job at that genre of like, here's a simple fighting game, but it's complicated. Like it's other games have tried to do that. I think this one has done a really good job of it.
Right. It's playable in the browser as well, so it's like very, very easy to play.
Very
really
accessible.
cool art style as well.
There you go. That's a bit of upcoming.
One more thing upcoming this weekend.
One more once.
I'm wearing my CTWC shirt. The Classic Tetris World Championships is also this weekend as well, which is the reason why I cannot make it to Red Bull. I am going to be doing the Classic Tetris World Championship Top 8 on Sunday with Chris Tang, as usual, which should be a ton of fun. Again, like there's so many new players all the time showing up, so many young players coming in here and like doing damage in all the tournament scenes and everything like that. But I mean, the top 8 right now is actually pretty well-known players here. So, I mean, you have players, that you were expect. Nenu, who got second place last year? Third place last year, is there again. Huffaluffagus is one of the best players right now. Dog and Pixelandy, the brothers who played grand finals across the hall from each other last year, are in the tournament as well. But seeded number 1 is Joseph Saley again, the kid who toppled.
The clapper versus the smacker. Right?
No. Actually,
Whopper versus the Whopper.
Actually, none of the rollers actually made it in here yet. Rolling hasn't quite gotten to that point yet because it's a relatively new technique.
You told us it was godlike. It
is godlike.
Tetris.
It is godlike, but
where are the rollers at?
It requires practice. It requires a lot of practice and technique. And some of the players here have said that they might be practicing rolling all the way up to here so that they have rolling. There was one player during the pools who actually switched between hyper tapping and rolling at one point in time to try to save themselves, and they did. It was like one of the most hype moments of the tournament. But rolling, I mean, look, hyper tapping players have gotten to like level 35 or so, which is, few levels past the kill screen, which is 29. Rollers have gotten to like level 41 and level 42, like 45 or something crazy like that. Like I've actually gotten to the point now where I talk about this in a very interesting, I bring this up every time I talk about Tetris, but like they have to start figuring out how to handle this, because before it's about Tetris efficiency, because 29 was the kill screen. You had to do as well as you could before you got to level 29. And if you didn't, you died, right? And that was the end. So it was about efficiency. Now, with rollers, if they can get good enough at rolling and they can live all the way to 40-something, it might not be about efficiency anymore, but just that they can live longer than everyone else. And so do they want to change the rules? Also, I talk about this all the time. Rolling has removed the restriction of NES pads. Right, so at this point in time, do we want to consider allowing any controller for classic Tetris? Right, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna do this here really quick.
I'm gonna play on a set of dive kick bongos.
Dude, I mean, you could try. You wouldn't have enough buttons, I think, for that.
Bongo? You call them bongos?
Haven't you seen? No, somebody actually was using the DK bongos for dive kick.
Now, again,
You never saw that? It's just,
look, I'm telling you right now, Tiny Tex, if you haven't played NES Tetris, you don't know about living till level 40, okay? Because in NES Tetris, like, it's different. NES Tetris is completely different, and that's why 16-bit they actually play on NES
Tetris. It's about time
Tetris.
to be moving on, don't you think? I think that we should probably move on.
3, 2, 1, go!
So the reason why that they use NES Tetris is because there's my timer buster. Haha! There we go. Let me kill my star over here. And basically, NES Tetris is played very, very differently than any other Tetris out there. It uses a completely different set of rules. And so it is the hardest version of Tetris that's like competitive out there. And so there's a legacy behind it now. So a lot of people play NES Tetris as kind of a legacy thing. So yeah, that was definitely a burst bait. I was waiting for someone to give me the excuse to use that, so I was happy that David did that. So it's actually it's Nintendo NES Tetris, not the Tengen Tetris. It is actually NES Tetris, and there's a certain set of rules. It's all been replicated in Tetris Effect in the classic mode, which is super cool because there's no way the Tetris company would ever have let anyone do that in the past. But having Tetsuya Mitsuguchi actually show up and see it, and then Alexei Pajitnov show up and see it, probably allowed them to let that happen. But I really think that with the way rolling has changed NES Tetris, that we are at a point right now where we should consider using any controller and playing on the Tetris Effect version so that more people have access to it and lots of people can play. And I think that will increase the user base of people who are able to play instead of hunting for old NESs and NES pads and trying to find an old NES Tetris cartridge, which the supplies are definitely limited out there. So it's not going to be forever that you can get these things. I'm just trying to keep talking to see how many faces David can make during this section here.
So, East, we definitely gamed this out. He asks, can you counter Timer Buster? Could Tubbo use his Timer Buster invincibility frames to cancel out James's? Nope. We definitely talked about that. You cannot counter a Timer Buster. Timer Buster is the final end to it, because then it would just be useless, right?
Right. And yeah, by the way, just to answer 16-Bit's question, for NES Tetris, there is a Tetris Illuminati, I guess you want to call them. There's 3 guys in particular who run Classic Tetris World Championships, which is
don't screw that up this weekend, James.
Trey, Vince, and Adam. They're 3 very, very tall dudes, and so they're lovingly called the Long Bars. And so they're the ones who run the Classic Tetris World Championships. They're the ones in charge of it.
They're good guys, for sure. Are you going to go there in person?
It is not going to be an in-person event. It is all online, so I'll be doing stuff. So all
right, well, have a good time, man. I'm looking forward to that one as well. A lot of good stuff this weekend. All right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Cool.
There's been a lot of weekends of not much, and then all of a sudden this weekend of everything. So
let's do it. Let's move on to the mailbag.
Yes, the mailbag. Okay, let's do
mailbag
this.
it.
Mailbag.
You did a good job on that sound effect.
Thanks. Making fart noises since I was 2.
Dude, no one's better at fart noises than Vicious, dude. That guy's fart noise capability is...
I can't believe that you would say such a thing in my presence.
Because you don't have your Timer Buster left.
Oh, no. I can't just cut you off. All right, what do we got here for the mailbag?
All right, so the first question that we have from the mailbag comes from... Oops, there we go. Stephanie Brownback via Twitter asks, you now have an entrance theme that plays every time you enter the room. What is your theme song?
So my answer to this question has been the same for 20 years at this point. Back in high school, my friends decided that my theme song was the then popular Austin Powers theme song. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh, that song. Yeah.
They decided that would be my entrance into a wrestling match if I was ever in one. And I was like, I'm actually not mad about that. I think that's pretty funny.
That seems about right.
That's been my answer for the last 20 years. And it will probably always continue to be the same. I think the movie's pretty funny. I don't know if I love it, but it's just a great answer for me. So I'm going to stick with that.
Do what?
I have never thought about this in my whole life.
What?
But
CEO, come on, man.
You never thought you'd make top 8 at CEO?
I literally have an entrance at CEO. I've done that. I've been there, done that. Right. You commentated it with Sajam, by the way. Anyways,
right. I was there.
But that was Lupe Fiasco, Mean and Vicious. It wasn't that's definitely not my theme song. I don't know what my theme song would be, man. Whatever.
What's your theme song?
What? Dude, pick for me. I don't give a shit. I really couldn't. I've literally never thought about this in my life.
The acid.
It would have to be
acid techno remix of "Confusion" by New Order. The Blade.
Sure, there it is.
Soundtrack's song. That's your. You don't
I
know
feel
this,
like
James? Absolutely, you know this song for sure.
I feel like I would need to
Well,
have
if I
something
heard it,
made
yeah.
for me. I don't think there's an existing song out there that I'm like, yeah, that's my theme song. It would need to be like a, like something made for me.
Dear Jesse by Roller Girl.
Yes,
There you go.
that was
There you go.
exactly,
There you
that's
go.
what was made for me.
There's your favorite one. All right. What about you, James?
That would be mine right there.
I couldn't barely hear it, but
You couldn't
it's
hear it much? Oh, was the
James
speaker
Enzor
not loud
song.
enough? Yeah, it's the Meet
the-
James Enzor song. It's the Meet James Enzor
The
song.
song
That would
that
have.
you get your J. Chenzor
Yeah.
name from. That
Makes
makes
sense.
And if you've ever actually heard my ringtone, so my ringtone is not this part. My ringtone is right here.
And that's how Ultra Chen TV got taken off of Twitch.
Well, it's no acid techno remix of Confusion by New Order. But
Yeah, that's been my ringtone for like 20 years now. So it's just like when I hear that, and yeah, I just realized we probably are gonna get DMCA'd for that. So
what do we got next on the old mailbag?
oh man, there we go. Next one on the mailbag is from Marlo. Would you rather be an awesome offline FGC tournament player who was complete butt online and had low online presence, or would you rather be unto a god online but totally blow it when it comes to offline events and tournaments?
Dude, obviously I picked number one. Does anybody not pick number one?
I can't even imagine not picking number one. I would definitely rather be an offline warrior than an online warrior.
Depends on what your goal is. Like,
Okay.
do you want to be a content creator? Because if you want to be a content creator and make money off of this, more than you probably would winning tournaments, then you probably want to be an online god, right?
Okay, actually that makes sense. Yeah.
That's the only reason you would pick online god over offline god. No question.
However, maybe it would be very funny that you're like a genius offline and then you try to play online, but you're the worst player ever. And like the disparity could be the basis of like a really funny content
Yeah.
series.
And plus, I mean, winning Capcom Cup would require the offline one and get you $250,000, right? So
Man, some of these Twitchers are making that every single month.
it's true. It is actually
Yeah,
true.
I'm like,
But it's rare. But it's very, very
It's
rare.
very rare.
but
if
it's
you're
also very,
unto a
very rare
god-
to win Capcom Cup.
Yeah, even rarer. There's only one way.
You could be an offline god and still not win a Capcom
It's
Cup,
true.
right?
It's true.
You'd have to
Yeah.
be guaranteed you're the best player in the world until you retire. Otherwise, I think lucratively, it would be better to be a strong online player. Because you could never enter a tournament. You could just say, I don't want to enter an offline tournament. I'm going to make this content. I'm going to reel it out. I'm going to join Panda Global. I'm going to make some tier lists. Like, I got a career now. You know, I think the lucrative way is being an online god, unfortunately.
Dude, can
That's
you
actually
believe
very
that?
practical and reasonable, I guess.
Can you believe that Justin has almost succeeded in winning 100 online tournaments this year?
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
It's two tournaments a week, dude. That's two tournaments a week.
Boy.
He could have won 300 if he wanted to.
Dude, if they're
Yeah,
worth
I
300
know,
for him
right?
to enter, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
But I'm
that's-
just saying, like, after, like, obviously he can do it, but Justin, the content creator, finding the time to do it is the
Oh
part
yeah,
that's
he's a busy
surprising to
fella.
me.
I heard he has a family. Hey, thanks for the sub, Outward Television.
I
Love what you
heard.
do. Thank you very much. You're doing a great work out there. All right, let's move on to the next mailbag question.
This one comes from David's Dirty Dishes on
Oh
Twitter.
my god.
What's more inconvenient between hand washing dishes and fixing a 3D printer?
Okay, all right. I like how this is continuing to evolve. Look, the inconvenient one is the hand washing dishes. Hand washing dishes is just a garbage chore. Nobody likes it. It's not fun or interesting. It's the worst. Much better to just put them in the dishwasher and forget about it for a couple of hours. Whereas this guy, that yes, you may see, is actually currently torn down a little bit.
Yep.
Maybe something. I've actually bought some grease to put on the lead screw. I'm just gonna be doing regular maintenance on it. I didn't think to put it back together before the show, but it's not broken. It's just like regular maintenance that I'm doing. I think that's fun. I like messing with stuff like this. Like, this has just been a fun project to me. Yeah, half of it's been fixing it, but on the other hand,
since you've gotten it,
yeah,
have you washed more dishes by hand, or taken that thing apart to repair it in some fashion?
by far taking it apart. By far. But it's been a lot of fun. So it's actually not actually that annoying.
I know some people say hand washing dishes is worse for the environment because of how much water you use. Depends on your dishwasher. My dishwasher is older than Tubo probably. And then also depends on how you wash dishes by hand washing them. If you run the water the entire time, yeah, absolutely. But if you don't, you can save a lot of water. So
personally, I wash them like I'm a Fremen on Arrakis. I just spin on them and rub it around a little bit, and then it's good, right?
Sounds about right.
I think that's it. Moving on to the next mailbag question.
I actually really enjoy washing the dishes and putting putting on like a movie on my phone, just like in front and stuff. It's actually kind of peaceful.
I got a ton of dishes, dude. I'll fly you out here. I'd rather spend the money flying you out than doing them myself.
Just get a dishwasher, buddy.
I have one. I need the stuff.
Doing, Nathan?
I need the soap, the detergent. I'm out.
Yes. All right. The next mailbag question is:
Nathan is going crazy over here.
What's the deal with Nathan?
What's the most robbed you ever felt in a tournament game?
Oh, wait, I got one. I got a real good one.
Okay.
I quit an entire genre of tournament just because of this shit.
Okay.
So I was playing Mystery Game Tournament. I don't enter Mystery Game Tournaments anymore. I was playing Mystery Game Tournament, and I didn't understand how the health in KOF 11 worked. Because visually it looked like I was winning. But it turned out their last character had more health or something numerically, and I lost. And I was just like, I won that fight. Like, I definitely felt like I won. And they were rewarded. I was like, fuck this. I'm never, ever entering a mystery tournament again.
KOF 11 does not win based off of health. There's actually,
I had no idea.
There's actually a scoring system that rewards you for doing things that when you, after the whole thing is over, it's who has the highest score on the scoring system.
Yeah, that was the dumbest shit whatever. I'll never play that game again.
A Fighter's Destiny situation? I didn't know that.
No, I mean it's a health-based fighting game that when you fight each other and one person dies or whatever like that, it's like every other Marvel game. This is the actual active team swapping game. But in the case of timeout, it's not judged by health. It's judged by things that you do in the game. So,
what a world! What's your answer, James?
I don't know. That's a good question. I know there's definitely been some tournament losses that I'm like super mad about. That I had one
thinking about it. Okay.
There was one tournament match where I basically had Serlin dead. I got him to 0 health with Ken against his Honda, and I went to do a meaty DP because he had no health left, and he woke up with Ochio throw, and for some reason my DP just did not come out, and I got grabbed because I just did the DP too late. Even after he beat me, he looked at me, was like, what happened? And I was like, I have no idea. So yeah, I kind of flubbed that one. So
David?
Mine's not a fun answer. It's the time that I was on the Evo stage to qualify out of my pool in Street Fighter 4.
Oh, yeah.
And I was playing against Hydro, a.k.a. Hyro from Northern California. And I was playing Dan, and he was playing Gouken. And I blew him up big time in like round 1 or game 1. I don't really remember at this point, but like for the first big portion of it. And then halfway through, this was in 2012, I guess, or 2013. I don't know. My hands fell apart, and this was like when that was really getting bad, and I knew about it obviously, but they hadn't exploded in that kind of way, in like such a super public way. I'm on stream. There's this big crowd behind me, and I think I got a stun on him, and I just like didn't do a follow-up combo. Like I walked up to him and maybe like I pressed roundhouse or something, but
like even the commentators were confused. I remember.
Yeah, they were. I think it might have been you and Ski. And I don't know. I'm not sure about that, but Ski, I'm pretty sure was on there. And yeah, Ski, if I recall correctly, is like, man, I've never seen a Dan get played better than that until I've never seen a Dan get played worse than that. And yeah, I mean, it was I felt robbed in the sense that like,
you didn't lose for your
mentally, I could have done it, but like physically is an important part of fighting games as well, and I just didn't have access to that anymore. So all right, bummer, but that is the time that I got robbed the most, and I didn't make it out of the pool, to be clear.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next mailbag question. Cool. What a time that was.
Oh man,
what a time.
What a time.
Alive.
All right, so the next question is from Subatar. Who would win, a horse-sized Godzilla, 8 cat-sized Godzillas, or 5,000 bloodthirsty guinea pigs who have learned to use toothpicks, needles, and shards of glass? I mean, this is really similar to the question we had last week with the horse and the rabbit, and the, what was it, mice? I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I feel like it's clear that the guinea pigs would win just by overwhelming the opponent, right?
Okay, but it depends, right? It depends. Is it 5,000 guinea pigs that are, like, airdropped on top of you? Because then their mass is just going to destroy anything. Like, you just won't be able to make it out of them alive. They'll just be, like, a thick mass of them and you're dead. Yeah. However, what if we're at the hot gates, all right? What if this is a Thermopylae situation? And there I am as the lone heroic horse-sized whatever it was. I'm a horse-sized Godzilla.
Yes.
And there's just there's 5,000 of these little guinea pigs coming at me. Well, I don't care if they have toothpicks or needles or whatever. I feel like I'm just going to atomic breath every single one of them all the way through, and that's going to be that. So I feel like actually just depends on what the situation is, what's the tactical reality on the ground,
right? What's the lay of the land, and
the lay of the land,
and do the guinea pigs have the opportunity to plan their assault from multiple angles, basically? But if there's a choke point, yeah, for sure, then they're done.
I mean, Godzilla. Is his skin cuttable even? Like, is that ever been established?
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go with.
I'm not sure he has cuttable skin.
No, I mean he can bleed, but guinea pigs with shards of glass and toothpicks aren't gonna make it happen. But they can't bite through his skin. There's no way.
No way. Not with glass, for sure. Not with toothpicks, for sure.
I'm just trying to think, because like a horse-sized Godzilla, the atomic breath might not even be effective enough to even work at a choke point. Because if you think about the life-size Godzilla, when he shoots the beam and you see it in the movies, it's always like this thick beam. You can see it run over a car or something like that. But if you're a horse-sized Godzilla, that beam is going to be really thin. It's not even going to be that big, right?
But counterpoint to that, what if it's Shin Godzilla version, which is a really thin beam, but it's also like such a laser that it can go through absolutely anything? The fact that you are a horse-sized Godzilla means you're closer to the ground, and if you just like put your head on the ground and go, oh,
right,
you just have this laser coming out.
Do you know
how
tired you would have to be? You'd have to just be sitting
every single one of them. No, dude, it would go through all 5,000 at the same time. It's not being stopped by the guinea pigs. Their flesh is melting to it.
Obviously, it depends on how long the choke point is, right? If it's a long tunnel, then free.
I think from now on we need to have like the set that this takes place in a Roman arena. Like that's where these take place.
Okay, so like where Hulk and Thor fought each other, basically, kind of, right?
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, we're talking way too much about the terrain.
Okay,
we're talking way too much about This shit happens in an arena. We're watching. We're like the thumbs up, thumbs down guys.
Are you
right?
not
I like
entertained?
the 8 cat-sized Godzillas. In conclusion, that's my final answer. 8 cat-sized Godzillas.
I
They're
think-
nimble. They got all the Godzilla powers. It's gonna be hard to cut through them with your little knives and whatever. And there's 8, so it's gonna be, I would say, the win over the horse.
That's a lucky number as well in Chinese. 8.
Nailed it.
Yeah, there you go.
I like the horse-sized Godzilla, but
It's between one of those two, though, for sure.
yeah,
I'm going.
I don't think guinea pigs stand a chance.
I'm going with the guinea pigs, dude. There's 5,000 of them. Do you know how many guinea pigs that is?
Dude, Godzilla has destroyed entire cities by
Yeah,
just breathing
I
on
think
them.
it's
Yeah,
small Godzilla
only
is
when he's
absolutely
like
wrecks them.
ginormous and taller than buildings. But if he's the size
Right,
of
but a
horse,
horse-sized Godzilla is still like 800, 900, 1,200 pounds. Like he can just stomp around and kill them.
I like
And then any ones that he doesn't stomp on, he just flame breaths.
Yeah.
dude, all they
There's
have
no
to do
limit
is
to
just
this
start
flame breath. He
crawling
can just
on
do that
him,
shit.
and then just chew out his
And then
eyeballs.
what?
And
They-
chew out
no
his
way.
eyeballs, and then what's he gonna do?
Close his
How's he gonna
eyes.
shoot
These are
anybody?
lizard eyes. There's no
You
way.
can't
They're
get a
alligator
Godzilla
eyes.
eyeball? No way.
What's
They
he gonna
can't
do?
get
He's
through
gonna
that.
run around like this the whole time to keep from them
Well, yeah,
chewing
you
his eyeball?
you hit the ones off of you, and you roll in a. It's like stop, drop,
You
and
can't
roll.
hit 5,000
I
of
think
these
the guinea
dudes
pigs
crawling
get
all
bodied.
over you,
I
dude.
think
they
they're
get
just,
bodied.
They're immolated like almost immediately. They're just
Yeah, and
not
I
a
just
factor.
think it's a case where they can't damage him. It's like, yeah, there's a lot, but they can't. You know, like if 5,000 ants try to bite into a brick wall, they're not going to be able to bite into it.
100%.
That's where I'm thinking.
I like the
This
Godzillas
skin is
for
too
sure.
thick.
Yeah.
All
seriously,
right,
they
next
get-
mailbag.
All right, we're moving on.
All right, completely different question theme here. Completely different themed question here. Marlo asks, would you rather fight one sandworm-sized
Go for it. Go for it. What do you think it is?
Muad'Dib or one Muad'Dib-sized sandworm with a sword?
I, for one, would just not walk in a rhythmic fashion.
Oh, okay. You think it's so easy out there on the desert planets of Arrakis?
I think
dude,
it's
on
pretty easy. Yeah.
Dune.
Listen, man, I'm gonna be high on dune dust, just causing a racket, not being talking or walking in a noticeable
Look, you're
pattern.
not the Kwisatz Haderach, all right? You're not gonna be.
I know nothing about Dune, but
Boy, I could.
Gibby, you are
absolutely-
correct. Or East, you are correct. I would
I
be
could-
on that spice.
Absolutely.
That stuff
prattle
sounds
on
dope.
about Dune lore for a long time. Would I rather fight a sandworm-sized Muad'Dib, meaning 400 meters long? Anything? No, thank you. No, thank you. I think that's gonna be it. If there's a 400 meter long or tall, I guess, because it's a human. There's absolutely no way to beat that guy. Whereas one Muad'Dib-sized sandworm, the sandworm isn't like scary because it's good at fighting. It's because it's 400 meters long and can eat you in a gulp. But if it's a human-sized sandworm, it's done. It's easy for
But
sure.
it
It doesn't
has-
have hands.
wait,
it doesn't
hang on.
have hands.
It has a sword, though. It has
What's it gonna do
access
with
to
the
a sword.
It's sitting next to the sword. It can't grasp the sword with
The
anything. What's it gonna do?
the Mad Dibs has a sword, dude. The Mad Weary has a
Mad Dibs, bro.
has the
Mad
Mad
Libs on
Libs.
this one, James. That's
The
for
Ma-
sure.
The Mad Libs has a sword, and that means it has a sharp object. Anyways, let's move on to the next
Well,
question.
pick 'em up,
here.
Flip.
Yeah,
Why
well,
don't you?
what's our next one?
All right.
All right. Doug Helen asks, if 100 mice-sized mice were skeletonizing James, who would arrive first to save him? Tubo atop his horse-sized horse, or the the Sadako lawyer?
Laser.
Everybody's on the Dune questions today, and I'm very glad that James gets to read those out. I would think that if 100 mice were skeletonizing James, I think it's just too late. I don't think that we have the ability to stop the mice from skeletonizing him, even if there's a horse. You know, I don't think that's possible. I think James has died. Sorry, everybody.
PG no re.
GG.
Tubo?
Nope, we're good.
That's it? Nothing? No,
I think
no.
you're dead. Yeah, I
you
agree with
died.
David.
You've already
You're
died.
dead. You're bodied, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you have.
I'd love
you
to
have
save
been
you if I
died.
could. If you're like in quicksand and you're sinking, then that's a different question. But if you're already a skeleton, well.
And look, as a Sardaukar lawyer hanging out there on Salusa Secundus, I am totally accustomed to seeing skeletons and death all the time. It's a very extreme environment. Also, I'm part of a death cult, kind of. And so I'm not like put off by the fact that there's a skeleton where a guy who I used to know was formerly standing. I'm used to that. Dude, I saw that 10 times walking over to your skeleton.
Is this our last question, James? You can interrupt me. Is this our
There's
last
one
question?
more question. There's one more
All
question.
right, well, I'm using my time buster to go on to the next question. I'm so tired of Dune. No more Dune.
I was
Now I
trying...
know how I sound talking about Marvel movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jesus.
No, except I care about Marvel movies, so, you know.
Hey, a lot of people care about Dune, man. They're welcome.
Alrighty, here we go. Next question. Tavi Turnip asks via Discord, if a horse-sized horse disguised itself as one member of the Ultra Chen to cover for the Tuesday show, which member would portray it the most convincingly? Wait.
Would it portray the most convincing?
Oh, would it portray the most? What is with these horse-sized horses, man?
Basically the question is, which one of us looks most like a horse?
Yes.
I
Pretty
think
much.
It's me. I think I'm the horsiest.
That's there. Sure.
I'm gonna claim the horsiest.
All right.
So congratulations, everybody.
No, sir, I don't like it. That's literally you, the horse.
I do quote that horse all the time. It's true.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, my bad.
What the hell?
I clicked the wrong thing.
You're
That's my
trying to
bad.
timer buster the whole damn show.
I was trying to do something.
Boy,
but-
I mean, maybe if you had a little bit more of an efficient system, this is plausible, but it's just
I can't
late,
get
James.
this to work. There we
late,
go.
James.
There we go.
it's just
There
too
we go.
late, buddy. It was a good idea.
The moment passed.
Yeah,
I couldn't find the skeleton on where I saved it on the desktop. I couldn't find it, unfortunately. That was the problem.
How come in horror there are skeletons that walk around, but there's never like
Skin?
disembodied only muscles or only skin or only the vascular system? It's just as plausible.
I think
as
you've
having
asked that
dead
before, and
skeleton.
people have said Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
In conclusion, skeletons can't stand up under their own power. All right, thanks everybody for hanging out at the Tuesday show. It's been a good one. It's been me, Horseface David, and TuboWare and Skeleton James.
Thanks for
I'm
watching, guys.
So mad about not finding out where I actually saved the damn skeleton.
Hey, tell us in the YouTube comments anything that's not horse fight related.
Yeah, maybe let's
You
put
wanna
a
talk
moratorium on the old horses versus.
Yeah,
other
no more
things
horse
situation.
fights.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm trying to look for now the next. thing
All
that
right,
I'm-
everybody. Thanks.
There it
a lot.
is. There we go. Skeletons could probably stand up, right? I mean, they're not that heavy.
They can't muscle. They grow muscle.
But it's controlled by magic and the dark arts.
Magic doesn't exist.
Neither do skeletons.
It's true.
Skeletons definitely exist.
Nobody's
No, they're
seen a
fake.
skeleton.